one drift time. Engine scream, burning rubber, no rewind. Joker series chaos in the night, lights glow. Pedal to the metal, let the madness flow. One twist, one trick, one path that breaks the map. The fool with the crown takes the Joker lap. Don't run with the rules, we redraw the lines. Paint my wheels in chaos, cut time with knives. Split second grin with the sideways slide. Jester in the mirror, madness in my drive. Tires scream, I hear him laughing. Mid-race flip, I'm stunning in action. All eyes watch as I roll and snap. They cut the track, I take the Joker lap. Joke's on you, round and round, no path is true. Let the Jester lead. Shortcut mind in a midnight mask. Flick of the wrist, twist of the cap. I win dirty, call it Joker lag. Chrome bells hang from the rearview mirror. Every move I make cuts close to fear. Neutral in code, chaotic in soul. I bend each checkpoint into a black hole. No good, no evil, just the thrill. Clown crown bound by my own free will. No script, no fate, no final map. Just smoke and mirrors in the Joker lap. Thought I saw him once on a midnight bend. A grin like fire, a curve with no end. Did he win? Did he fall? Did the race collapse? No one knows. Past the Joker lap. Yeah, backbend, I beat the trap. Text spun mind in the synapse snap. Loop my lane in a twisted map. Burn through time on the Joker lap. Laugh while you race
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Salamander Racing Joker Series. I am Salamander. Most people call me Sal. We're in for a fun set of events today. I've got two very special commentators that are going to join us in the booth and call this race. The first, our lead commentator, is somebody you all probably know from NRL and some other leagues. We've got Slow-Mo. Everybody say hi. Slow-Mo, say hi.
Good afternoon, evening.
How you doing today?
I am doing fantastic. How are you, Sal?
I'm not doing
You,
bad at all. Been looking forward to this, so
yeah, you excited? This
I
is
am
going to be
excited.
exciting.
I am very excited. So, and we've also got one of our good PhD friends, C-Dubs, all decked out in Joker Series gear. How you doing, C-Dubs?
What's up, guys? Glad to be here. Ready to
Wow.
get this underway. Oh yeah, I fell into a puddle of makeup a little while ago. So,
That
but
is
no,
fantastic.
We have gone full frontal for this one, apparently.
well, you don't know. I haven't turned around. I mean, you don't know.
We don't know, and we'd prefer not to know.
Okay, well,
Thank you
let's
very
keep
much.
it that way. That's right. That's
All
right.
right. So,
Wow.
for those that haven't been here before, this is the second installment of the Joker series. The first one we had last month. It was at Daytona. You may be asking, what is the Joker series about? For those that are new around here, Joker series, we're trying to do something a little bit unique. We're going outside the bounds of what the Gran Turismo playbook is, and we're introducing Joker laps. For those familiar with Rallycross, they've been doing Joker laps in that for a while. But what that is it's drivers are required to take a little bit of extra section of track one time for one lap throughout the race. It can't be the first lap of the race, it can't be the last lap of the race, and it can't be on an out lap. So it's got to be on basically a full speed lap. I think we had found 14 different tracks within Gran Turismo 7 that have legitimate Joker lap options. This month we're going to be at Tsukuba. We're going to go get into the round info in just a moment, where there's a little extra section to take, and that's what kind of makes the Joker series. We're trying to do a bunch of different things. You need to use your turn signal when you're taking the Joker lap. We're using primarily road cars, not the group cars like a lot of the other leagues. So we're trying to be different. We're trying to be as different as we can. So that's the deal. So with that said, let's get into the round info and Slow-Mo. If you can run us through that.
Yeah, absolutely. So today they're going to be at Tsukuba, and I have trouble saying that, so bear with me. They're running 20 laps and one Joker. Tire wear is going to be at 20 times. They're going to run the sport medium tires. Their fuel burn today is going to be at 10 times. So that's the thing to really watch with these guys. And the refuel rate there is going to be 5 liters a second. You'll see there's 4 cars. So they can run the Alpine, the Mazda, the Audi, or that Alpha. They have their choice. It is fair game for any one of those 4 vehicles. So it will be interesting to see which car our drivers are rolling out in today.
Yes, absolutely, Slow-Mo. We wanted to make sure to give people some options. I like having more than just one make races. So we got 4 cars this time around. All right, so with that being said, well, let's roll into the keys to the race. What is it that's going to make somebody successful at this race? For me, key number 1 is to keep control of your car. Like we mentioned, these are road cars. We are on sport tires. Some of them can get a little tail happy. Smooth is fast around here, so definitely keep control of your car. That's the first key to the race.
For me, I think the other key timing goes along with something I'm always very cautious of, and that's strategy. So when are you taking your pit? What is the pit timing? That also relates to the Joker lap, really. But when are you going to make that move to go into the pits, get yourself some fuel? We know that these guys cannot run a no stopper. It's virtually impossible. So they're going to have to take on some fuel at some point. Do you try and undercut? Do you try, to hold out as long as possible and really just build that lead? So it'd be very interesting to see what pit timing our drivers are using today.
Yeah. So my key to the race was practicing before the race. Like, so if you didn't get your practice in, And you've picked a couple of cars. So what I learned during practice was there are a couple of cars that are going to eat fuel a little faster. There's a couple that's going to eat the tires really fast. And you'll see, I don't want to talk to the strategy and give anything away for later splits, but certainly there are a couple of cars that are going to do really well in both regards, and there's a couple that you'll struggle with your pit strategy. So kind of ties it all together. You have to have run this track here to understand what these cars, to Sal's point. Sal, I think there's a theme here. You're giving us cars that are a little bit difficult to control around these tracks. Is what I'm figuring out.
Yep, that is one of the goals. Trying to make it so that it's a little bit more of a driver's series. We saw that at Daytona, where instead of just keeping it pinned to the floor and going around the tri-oval, you had to actually kind of wheel that thing a bit. And around here at Tsukuba, it's going to be a bit of a different story. It's a smaller track, tighter, twistier, and with that we have lower powered cars, but it still makes it for what I hope to be some exciting competition. So now, C-Dubs, what is it that you see are some of the strategies that we might see unfold, and how the Joker Lap is maybe going to be integral to some of that?
Yeah, so the neat thing here is we don't have a situation here where you got to keep a buddy, right? Daytona was all about having a buddy. If you did not jump into that Joker Lap with somebody, off you went. You lost your slip. You were kind of done. That sort of happened to me. I took you out to slow mo. Your cousin, right? Or I'm not sure the relation there, Angry Fedbird. But yeah, so I got into him and killed him, and then we were both split apart, way off the group. But nonetheless, here you got to keep in mind too, and we'll talk about this more later. Daytona, when you hit the Joker Lap, you were eating up 11 seconds. 11 seconds is forever at Daytona. Here, you're probably only losing 3 to 4 seconds during the lap. So it's probably not going to be as big of a deal, and of course, slip's not coming into play here. So that's what I was talking about with having practiced to know, obviously, run these cars on this track, know when you can pit. I keep wanting to say what I would do, having watched the practices. I don't want to do that because I don't want to give strategies away beforehand. But anyway, that's where I'm at with it.
Gotcha. Yeah, all really good points. There's going to be more. I feel that this race is going to be a bit more of a chess match. There's going to be a lot more nuance to what your decisions are going to be regarding when you take your Joker, when you go to the pit, how you taking the Joker is going to affect the other drivers. Again, at Daytona, it was all on that backstretch. When somebody took the Joker, you just veered off to the side and you just kept going. Here at Tsukuba, where the Joker Lap is people are going for the same apex, both to enter the Joker or to just maintain the most speed to keep going out. So we may see some drivers that take the Joker Lap because they're in the lead and they know it's going to slow up their competitors. Same thing happens on the exit to the Joker Lap, where this is naturally where people are swinging way wide, trying to use as much of the track as possible. If they've got somebody exiting the Joker, they may have to lift coming out of that corner and again slow themselves down. So there could be some more mind games at this track. We'll see how that all plays out. So
Sal, can I interrupt you just real quick? Can you remind us, I know everything's in writing, but can you remind us, how the turn signal works? When do they have to signal by on this particular track?
Yep. So there's a commitment zone or a commitment line that you have to meet. Essentially, you need to give your competitors ample time to know that you're going to be taking the Joker. You're not allowed to just turn on the turn signal a split second before you take it. Because it's a small track, it's a relatively short run-up. So as you come through the S's and you take what's essentially the second hairpin, coming out of that second hairpin, there is a service road on the left. That's the demarcation point. By that point, you need to have your turn signal on in order to take the Joker after the next turn. So as long as you've got your turn signal on by then you can take your Joker and it'll count. If you turn it on after that, then it's too late. I mean, if you take the Joker, it just doesn't count. You need to take it again. Something I'm hoping we don't see as much here at Tsukuba is people missing the Joker. We saw a lot of that at Daytona because the cars are flying at 200 miles an hour and they were hard to slow down. There were people that did everything they were supposed to, but just couldn't get it slowed down in time to get into the bus stop. Here at Tsukuba, being slower and because you're basically coming out of a corner, I'm hoping that's not going to happen as often. I think we should have fewer instances of people having to abort out or completely miss it. I could see people cutting it a little bit, and if we were giving out prizes and stuff, we would have some post race penalties for stuff like that. Right now, we're still kind of in an exhibition mode where we're just doing it for fun, so we're not doing stewarding and all that. But in order to get used to it, you got to make sure to kind of obey what are the normal kind of track limits. You can't put all 4 tires onto the grass, that kind of stuff. But yeah, once you've to follow up on the turn signal part of it, you have to have your turn signal on by that service road, and then we also have in here what I'm calling the protected zone for the Joker Lap driver. Essentially, when they've indicated that they're going to take the Joker Lap, they get the preferential line. They get the rights to the inside line going into that Joker Lap entrance, and anybody else who's not taking the Joker needs to actively try to avoid running into that car. Essentially, they're telling you, I'm going to slow down more than you're going to slow down in this corner, and it's up to the person who's trying to maintain more speed to do the avoiding. Now, it's still up to the Joker Lap driver to stay within their protected zone. You can't go and miss the apex, swing out wide, and cause everybody behind you to pile up.
This is going to be fun to watch because to that point, everybody's diving for that apex to keep their speed up for that next left-hander, right? So if you're behind somebody and they put their signal on, you better be prepared to hit the brakes, because if you don't, at speed, you can kind of cut that apex, keep those left 2 tires on the asphalt, and roll on through. But yeah, if somebody's in front of you with turn signals on, you better get slowed down, because you're not going to get to cut that apex. You're going to have to stay wide of that car taking the Joker Lap. It's going to be interesting.
You're either going to have to slow down as much as them to hit the apex, or you're just going to have to take it wide, which is going to cause you to have to slow down on exit to that corner anyway. So that's what I'm saying. There's going to be a bit of mind games going on. If somebody's got someone right on their bumper, they may be like, now's the time to take the Joker Lap, because it's going to mess with them. It's going to slow them up. And it's almost like an undercut. They'll take the Joker, and then if, in the future, the guy behind them takes the Joker, maybe they'll have gotten hung up, and the guy who took it initially may end up out ahead, so.
Or another scenario, we talked about this last night. If I'm behind somebody taking the Joker Lap and I see they're taking it and I decide I want to take it, I better have signaled in time. If I make a last-minute decision and I'm going to follow him through there so I can follow his line and not have to go wide of that apex, I still need to signal in time for that Joker Lap to count.
Yeah, this is one of those where I purposefully wanted to make it so you couldn't do it as like just a split-second decision. Like, you had to decide beforehand, I'm going to take it this lap, and you have to let everybody know that you're going to take it that lap. I didn't want people just diving in. I mean, and that's just something, the way I wanted it to go. I mean, we could do it either way, where you don't need the turn signal and all that bit, but I was afraid that was going to cause a lot more pileups. If somebody waits to the last second and finally does it, and the person behind doesn't really have time to react, now you've got to pile up, and it's kind of ruined the race. It's like, just make it so people have to let each other know what's going on, so that you can, as the other driver, decide what you're going to do about it. Because you're going to now all of a sudden have to react on the fly. How am I going to handle the fact that they're going to be interrupting my speed, interrupting my line? Do I try to maintain speed but go wide, or do I just simply slow down and follow them through while still maintaining the apex, so the guy 2 cars back now doesn't get the slingshot past me because they didn't have to slow down?
So speaking of interrupting, Sal, I'm going to interrupt you real quick. Fernando's in the chat, and no, Fernando, it was originally 7. Sal made that change a few weeks ago because of some other events that are occurring that a lot of guys are going to be in later. So the start time will be soon, hopefully. I mean, we're going to wait and see who joins the lobby. Right now, we've got 3 racers in lobby. So if you've got to set your rig up, it says. So yeah, man, if you can get that rig set up and join us, we'd love to see you in here. Same thing with you, Marty, Hector, Howdy, Vetterdane's already in here. Josh, I know you were in practicing yesterday. We'd love to see you join us here.
Yeah, we've only got 3 people now, but with that said, actually now is probably a good time. I'm going to go off camera and go talk to the drivers, make sure that they're all ready to go, and then see if we can get some more people in. I want to get to, a good 6+ drivers before we kick this off. So I'm going to let you two, Slow-Mo and C-Dubs, kind of fill some time here while I go chit-chat with the drivers, and hopefully, yes, we will be getting underway shortly. So I will talk to you guys after the first race.
Sal, try to stay out of trouble if we're not here to monitor you.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Bye.
So, and C-Dubs, I think you guys were touching on something that I really love about the Joker series. I mean, I'm a big strategy fan. And what's better than to add a little bit of chaos to make you add strategy, right? I mean, I feel like coming into this race woefully unprepared is not going to go well for someone. So, it based on everything that I've seen and heard, it feels like one of those races that if you didn't do one of your keys, which is practice for the race, you're in deep trouble.
Yeah, so one big thing, we touched on it earlier, and I would assume, in fact, I'm almost certain that Sal did this on purpose. A couple of these cars are going to do the same lap. They're all going to be comparable in a one-lap shootout. But over the course of the race, there's a couple of them that are going to fail miserably in tire wear and fuel consumption. So
Right.
If you haven't done your practice, you're going to find that out. And yeah, so we actually right now, I called this. I love that T-Case is going outside of the meta here. But right now with 5 guys in the lobby, 4 of them are in the 4C. So but yeah, awesome stuff.
And not that we're saying that's the car. That's not the car. I don't know. Time will have to tell for us. So
I do know, but I'm not going to say whether that's it or not. I mean, I personally ran this car in practice.
Well,
May have had some troubles, may not have. I mean, who knows? But yeah, to reiterate that, Sal said it. We've said it. That where the Joker lap is here, that's the key, right? I mean,
yeah.
Everybody's trying to keep their speed. It's a short track. You're trying to carry as much speed through this track as possible. And where you enter that Joker lap, everybody's fighting for that apex. If you're not familiar with Tsukuba, it's right after the S's. You're going to that right that everybody cuts the apex hard, but you can still keep up speed. In fact, I think most people go through there in third in all of these cars. In some cases, you're shifting into fourth as you're going through that apex. But directly following that apex is that hard 90 into the Joker lap area, into that chicane. So yeah, that's going to be interesting coming in, and as he said, coming out. That if you're not taking the Joker lap and you've hit that apex and you're trying to catch the next apex to the left, your car is pushing out to the right, to the outside to carry your speed. Well, guess what? That's where the folks taking the Joker lap are re-entering the track. And they have priority. So you can see where that's going to get tricky right there. There could be some issues.
Yeah. And I want to step back a little bit on what I said. If you're coming in unprepared, that's okay too. I would imagine there's going to be a few people that may have not gotten a chance to run practice laps. Don't let that discourage you.
Yeah, for sure. Get in here.
There and run. As a commentator, those are sometimes things that it feels like you'd be unprepared. But you know what? A lot of these guys that we deal with, whether it be PHG, SR7, all the different leagues that we see commonly join some of these races, these guys can jump in and run laps at any point in time. Practice doesn't always become necessary for some of these skilled drivers.
Yeah, so to your point, as Sal said, this is exhibition. This is fun. How's this Joker series going to work? Is it going to draw in the people? Is it, I love it. I think it's fun. You see me, I'm in my makeup. I think it's a cool idea. I hope everybody jumps in and joins it. Yes, there's a little more prep work to this. Yes, you might have to read 10 seconds worth of documentation to tell you, okay, here's your turn signal line. It's really not hard.
Yeah.
It's super simple. It's just taking an extra 10 seconds to read on the, he's got all of this information in the Papa's House of Game website. I believe it's under leagues, but if you click on that, he's telling you, here's the upcoming race, here's the few key details to that, and that's that. So Back to you, Mr. Slow-Mo.
Well, and now's a great time to remind everybody to, make sure and be active in the PHG Discord if you're not already. Join in there. That's really where you get to have conversations with the community, learn about whatever's coming next. There's a lot of fun things that are coming up here in the racing community world. So the best way to stay informed is to get in there, join the Discord, talk to the other folks. There are so many great streamers to watch. We've obviously got Sal and TK and Papa are some of the bigger ones that you see running these broadcasts, but in addition to them, many other racers out there also stream. So a great way to get some exposure to that and just be a part of the community. It's an incredible group to be a part of.
Absolutely. Lots of fun. And it looks like won't be long, and Sal's going to kick off the qualifying, which I can't remember the deal. I think we've got a 5-minute qualifier, Slow-Mo. Do you know for sure? I believe that's right.
That sounds correct. Yes, 5 minutes for the qualifying. So they will get a little bit of time to get out there and run their warm-up laps, if you will. Now, there's no joker laps in the qualifying, so they're just going to be running their best time there to get their grid position set. So that will be a good opportunity for the drivers to kind of get their feel for the car and the track. I can't imagine if it's me, I'm not going in here. The 4C is one of those cars that's very drivable. It's not necessarily as intimidating. Really seems strong on a lot of the different options that you're going to need, whether it be fuel and tires. So I think we'll have to see how that plays out for a lot of the drivers today in that car. Do we have... Oh, we're bouncing around. He's joking with us.
Yeah, Sal, you don't have to joke with us.
You clowning around over there, Sal?
OBS issues, guys. Stay tuned. We'll get it squared away here. It looks like
we've got some views there. All right, that's Ecstasy.
Here's what I know. Esta is crazy fast here. I was in the practice lobby with him. I will tell you that he and Vetterdan went back and forth within a couple of tenths of each other of having the fastest laps in the practice race and the quali. So expect those two, and we also know that those two have put in the time. So expect those two to do well here.
Yeah, and you got a pretty good lobby here with Ecstasy, TK's. Who's that? Josh Mormont, Fernando, obviously we all know, and Vetterdan as well. So I think this will be very interesting to see how this plays out. I love that design by the boss look. It's very classy, nice clean lines. Fernando in the Ferrari. Oh, I'm sorry, that's an Alpha.
It's an Alpha. He's got the classic Alpha, and then this is Vetterdan, right? Yeah, Vetterdan.
That's Vetterdan, yeah. I just wanted to say Ferrari. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, I like saying Ferrari, and he's not here, but we should bring up the fact that it would be awesome if PHG Shazam was joining us here. That'd be cool, just so we could say his name. But
that would, yeah, we'd love to get him in. So I did not. Still currently, let's see, they're on their hot lap currently. So we are going to get some times here in just a moment. We're about 2 minutes into the qualifying. Sorry, go ahead, C-Dubs.
No, I was just going to say, I didn't get a chance to see. I think Josh Moment did some laps in practice. I had to bounce, but just historically, he's a very fast driver. So, I expect all these guys are fast. Fernando can be fast. TK can be fast. All these guys, it just depends on the day.
And BHR, remind me which tag that is?
Beehive Racing.
Beehive Racing. I thought it was Grigsby. For whatever reason, I didn't remember Beehive.
That's right.
Sorry, Briggs.
Grigsby. Yep, that's right.
Briggs, who is an awesome dude. Check him out if you get a chance. So there's Josh Mormont putting up our current pole time with a 101.795. Looks like
I think it's Josh Moment. Is there an R in there?
Moment?
It's Josh Moment. Yep.
I'll figure it out in Joshua Moment. I'm sorry.
I see. Joshua Moment, you'll have it squared away. I got you. I see what you did there.
All right. So we've got him, Ecstasy, Fernando B, TKs, and then Vetterdan currently are our grid positions. There he
since,
goes. Josh is going to improve on that with a 101.427. Go ahead, C-Dub. Sorry.
No, I'm just going to say, you know, since T-Case is in the race and not in the booth with us, I'll say it for him that you just can't find a better Dan.
Oh, that was well done. See, I'd have hammered it up.
Okay. Do what I can.
Speaking of T-Case, taking a look at the teal bandit there going through, or the teal bearded bandit.
Oh, and the Joker hat. I mean, hello, he's got the Joker hat on the leopard.
That's well done. He's got like a whole like Mardi Gras kind of theme to it. That's good looking livery there, T-Case.
And that is quite the colorful ride that Vetter Dan's got.
It's something else, isn't it? Kind of almost like an abstract art.
Yeah.
You get to just kind of take it in and tell us how it makes you feel.
I feel like my daughter may have done his car makeup just like she did my face. Something similar.
Well, it is very Joker-esque. She did a great job with that.
She was so proud of it. I was like, okay, look, we got to start with white. And she's like, I don't have white. I said, what are we going to do here? So she improvised. I don't know what she put on my face. I don't know if it comes off.
It might be a fun weekend in the C-Dub's house.
Yeah, I mean, I've got bleach. We'll do what we got to do.
So we are just about to the 5-minute mark here. And it looks like the standings have not shifted around too terribly much. So currently Josh is in P1. Vetter Dan actually just jumped up to P2, I think, as I was saying that. Putting Ecstasy in P3. TK's currently in P4. And Fernando right now starting at the back of the grid. I saw a checkered flag out. So this will be the final lap for anybody who's crossed the finish line recently. And take a look at TK. He might have swung that a little wide, but not going to be able to get it done there. Here's Fernando coming around.
That's how it's going to be. Josh moment.
I think that's it, yeah.
That's crazy fast. You know, now I'll tell you that both Vetter Dan and Esta, we saw them running similar times. So this is going to be tight. I'm excited to watch this.
I am too. I think these guys are getting ready to put on a show for us. So let's see how this plays out. Here is Fernando coming across the line on his last hot lap with a 103.005. So
Cole,
that will set our grid. Go ahead.
Cole in the chat, you know, he said, too late, terrible singer, though. Thank you, Cole. I appreciate it. I've been told that by many. That is not my day job, thankfully, for everybody. And I'll try not to do that again, but, you know, I'm not going to make any promises.
So here you go. Here are our qualifying results. C-Dubs, you want to talk us through that? And as
sure.
There is one brave soul who's not in the 4C there.
Yeah, and it looks like, you know, T-Case went out on a limb there. But Josh Moment there in the 4C, 101.4, which is a smoking fast lap. Vetter Dan and Esta, I know I saw both of them in the 101s right in that same range yesterday, so they have the potential. T-Case, 102.958, and Fernando Button at a 103 even.
Yeah, those guys, I believe that the Joker lap is going to play a huge impact on this race here. As we, sorry, I'm walking around. I can't watch this.
South tricked us. We didn't know we were going back. I took my hat off. Here we are.
But yeah, no, I cannot sit down while I'm watching racing. That's just not how I do it. So I am always standing up pacing while we've got racing on here.
Which is awesome. It's real. You're into it.
It is.
I love it.
It is. But yeah, this is, it's so much fun. So I think based on what we've seen there, you know, the Joker lap and the pit strategy are going to have an opportunity to play a big impact on this race here. You know, I mean, C-Dubs, if it's you, are you following the leader on this, or what? How are you going after this one?
Yeah, I mean, if it's me, I have no choice but to follow somebody, right? I'm not going to be as fast as these guys. That's just the truth. And practice was the same way. I struggled to get, I believe it was a mid 102. So these guys were clearly a second ahead of me a lap, which might as well be a minute on this track here. So, and I have a technical difficulty in that I wasn't paying attention, and my PS5 powered down. So, looks like we're going to be headed to the race here in just a second.
Okay, yeah, I think we're just about ready. It looks like the drivers are getting their grid positions set up. And I hear horns honking. Somebody's getting horny. Horns are honking, lights are flashing, wheels are rolling, and this one is not a grid start, so this is a roll-in start here for these guys. And again, we've got 20 laps. One of those laps has to be a joker. And we're off and racing.
It cannot be your first lap, and I believe not one of your pit laps.
It also cannot be, yes, either of your pit laps. So, as we start off, we've got Josh leading the pack here, Vetter Dan, Ecstasy, T-Case, and Fernando watching closely to see if there's going to be any moves here in the first lap, or if these guys are going to be able to space out. Can Josh get a little bit of room between him and the competition? I think it'll be very interesting to find out.
I'd be surprised if he shakes either Vetter Dan or Esta the entire race. They would almost have to make a mistake for them to get too much behind him.
Yeah, I would agree. And I mean, then again, let's see as we get through the first lap here in just one more turn. Let's see if anybody's going to get that joker lap out of the way. I mean, Esta runs a touch wide there. Looks like T-Case may have as well. A lot of momentum carrying out of that little turn through that end.
Yeah, already a gap starting to occur between Esta and T-Case. Obviously, T-Case made a little bit of a mistake there in lap one. Let's see if he can catch back up to the group. Here we come up on the joker lap area. If anybody's going to take it, we'll find out soon.
Yeah, I don't see any turn signals yet.
Nope.
Nothing yet. Okay, looks like we're going to get through laps 1 and 2.
Well, no, we got one taker. We got one taker. Fernando. Now, I did not pay attention to see if he signaled in time, but he certainly took the joker lap and got it out of the way.
I was trying to watch for the turn signals, but that could be something easy to miss from this perspective. So there we have our first joker lap with Fernando. As you see Josh going ahead and pushing it forward here. He's going to go ahead and set a new fastest lap with that 101. What is that? Is that a 666?
866. We're going to call it 866 either way. I mean, I don't want to say 666.
I'm fine with that. Yeah, that works good. So Josh is trying to see if he can find a little bit of room between him and Vetter Dan. Ecstasy is really pretty much about the same distance he has been to Vetter Dan from the beginning of the race. He's on him, but he's not really giving him too much pressure at this point.
Yep, and Josh has pulled a 1.5 second lead, but Vetter Dan is purple right now, so we'll find out here. We might have a new fastest lap.
Yep, and you'll see that there is a little bit of a gap starting to form between Ecstasy and our next runner with TK's. And definitely going to be a little bit of a gap between him and Fernando as Fernando's completed his joker lap. So we have 3 down, 1 joker lap in. You know, C-Dubs, what is your thought? When is the best time to hit the joker lap? You can talk through what you think is best strategy now that they're on track, right?
You know, I personally, I think it's not going to matter as long as you've got a little space with the guys around you. Like, for me, like, Vetter Dan and Esta, they're so tight right now. You know, it would be harder. There's always that potential for an issue or a contact. We're coming up in that area now. Let's see. There's no turn signals that I see, so nobody. Top 3 is definitely not joker lap in this lap, and there goes T-Case on pass. So, yep, nobody's taking the joker lap in this lap.
Not this one. Okay, very good. Well, you know, I think the other thing that we will start to watch very closely as we get a few more laps in is, you know, check that gas tank there of Ecstasy, and you can see he's already used a quarter of a tank of gas in about 4 laps. So the fuel burns quickly with these settings right here. The tires, not so much. They're getting a little bit more. So
I would say if you look closely, T-Case is actually, his tires are a little more worn than the rest of them. If you remember, he's in a different car. So
he is in the Audi, correct?
Also, check T-Case's fuel.
Or the Alpine.
He's in the Alpine. Yeah, so T-Case is burning a little more fuel and using a little more tires, kind of alluding to what we talked about early on.
You know, it makes you wonder, are people sitting out of the first race to try and get a hint at what the strategy is going to be to jump in the next? And, you know, get themselves a little bit of information before they just go out.
Yeah, it's kind of a great thing, you know, in the PhD leagues. Obviously, you want to be top split, but when you weren't, it was also great because you got to watch the strategies and learn what not to do, what to do. So there's definitely advantages to that.
Yeah, C-Dubs, you know, when you're like me, you get to see 4 other races and then you run one. So you got a ton of strategy to think of before you get in.
There you go. Perfect.
Okay, so we have not had any position changes up to this point. We've had one Joker lap that has been ran by Fernando, and we are anxiously awaiting our next Joker. I see a turn signal, and we have our leader is going to go in and run his Joker lap here.
As well as second place.
Better Dan has followed suit and gone with him. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so that is going to shake it up a little bit, and that's put Ecstasy into the second position without a Joker lap. So giving us, 3 out of 5 drivers on track right now have their Joker laps completed.
Yeah, so just, who we got? Is it Josh and TK yet to take it? Is that right?
That is Ecstasy and TK's are the two.
Okay,
that
okay. Ecstasy and TK's. Got it.
You know, Sal, you almost need a little, like an icon that you could put over, like a little Joker icon you could put over their name once they've completed their Joker lap.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I don't know how easy that is, so you can kick me in the junk later. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway.
I mean, not that not that you've done enough cool stuff for this, but yeah, I mean, just that one thing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, this looks awesome. I was just, as we were kind of talking about it, it's like, what would be a good way to know who's hit their Joker lap? So, and here we go, a blinker for Ecstasy. He's going to go ahead and get his Joker lap in now, leaving TK's being the only one. TK's got left at the playground by himself, holding his ball. He's the only one that doesn't do the Joker lap yet.
Nobody will play with me.
Here soon. Yeah.
Yep.
And it looks like these guys are trying to get it out of the way and get it done. So I would imagine we're going to see some pit stops before too terribly long. If you get a look at TK's down past a half a tank of fuel, C-Dubs, to your point, those tires are definitely starting to show some wear here after about 8 laps. He's going to need some fuel and potentially even rubber, by the end of the race here.
Yeah, and I think if you look at the group as a whole, there's going to be at least one stop, right? I was curious if like T-Case, now that we can talk about it, I was curious if he was going to get away with one stop. But it looks like all of these drivers are going to get away with one stop. Now, are some of the 4C guys going to forego getting tires? That
was my question.
That's a possibility.
Yeah, I wonder if you can be gentle enough on those tires.
Fernando just spun out, hit the wall, got a 1.5 second penalty. Hang on to it, Fernando.
Are we able to get a replay? And we can. Here we go. So C-Dubs, talk us through it here. What happened?
Gets on the gas a little too early right here, catches the grass, into the wall. And Sal has blessed us with barrier penalties.
A little bit of a lawn job there from Fernando, and that's costly.
Yeah, but saved the mowing right there. They don't have to work as hard.
That's right. It might be a little bumpy for the guys who went through. So here we are with our current leader, and Josh. Moment. Yeah. He'll be there in 1 moment.
Yeah, so he's got almost a 4-second gap over Vetterdan, and Vetterdan is over 4 seconds over Estes. So we're starting to spread out here in the front 3, which I did not expect that. I thought these 3 would be super tight, but Josh is being really consistent. We knew he was fast. Again, I didn't get to see him in practice. I saw Vetterdan and Estes. I knew they could run some really fast laps, but Josh has obviously put in some time here and is staying really consistent.
And here we go with our first pit stop, being Ecstasy, who is coming in Certainly going to get himself some fuel, but we will have to watch and see if he's going to switch those tires.
My guess is that he will. You know, his front left is nearing half gone. He's probably not going to want that thing gone, and he's a lap earlier than half. You know, so he's got 11 laps to go. I would bet, yeah, and he does. He puts tires on.
Okay.
Not going to take a full tank here. He's watching that meter just to finish out the race. He's going to take on 11 laps worth of fuel.
So T-Case has currently got himself in P3. Correct me if I'm wrong. He still needs to do the Joker lap. I didn't miss that, did I?
He just did
There
it.
he goes.
He's just gone through his Joker lap, but maintains P3. Of course, still got some pitting to do.
Yeah, you know, if you look at the track placement, these guys are spaced out just a little bit. As you see, Vetter Dan is going to go ahead and get himself into the pits for some fresh rubber and fuel. So Josh currently maintaining his P1. I guess the question is, T-Case is going to follow suit and go ahead and get in there as well. He's down to, look at the difference in Better Dan's fuel and T-Case's.
Yeah. He's down to 9. Does that represent gallons? I don't know what that represents actually, but
I imagine that is
percent.
Percent is what
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
So, here we go. Josh appears to be perhaps running away with this just a little bit. He is going to have to come in and get a pit stop here. He currently has about a 29-second gap between him and second competitor, Fernando B., who also is going to need a pit stop. So there is Josh going in on lap 11 for his box lap. T-Case is still in the pits, so here comes Fernando. Coming around there. And he is the only one on track that we have not seen come through the pit lane entrance and exit. Is this the one?
Gonna have to. He does not have enough fuel to make it. His tires actually don't look bad at all, Fernando's tires, but he's certainly not going to have the fuel for it. Oh, here he comes. He's in.
And he's in. Okay. I don't know if he got away with that or if that's going to be a pit lane penalty, but we are going to have to wait and see. So we currently have our leader, Josh, in the pits. Fernando is in the pits as well. Vetter Dan passes through there. Josh is out of the pits currently and rolling. He took tires and about got himself up to 3/4 of the tank. So that should be plenty for him to finish the next 8 laps here in our first Joker Series split tonight.
Still got 4.7 seconds between him and Vetter Dan, and then now Vetter Dan's pulled out a little bit more on Esta at 4.4. So looks like Josh Moment, without making any major mistakes here, if he just stays consistent, he should pull away with this.
And as we see Fernando coming out of the pits, it looks like the pit lane infraction was unfortunately the case for him, and he's got a 3-second penalty. He is about 6 seconds back from T-Case there, so he's got some work to do here, or can hope T-Case or somebody in front of him makes a mistake that will give him an opportunity to get back in it. P2, Vetter Dan. And he's putting in some pretty consistent laps there, and then you see as he got into 9 and 10, those were a little different than what his other times were. There's S to C. I think I was looking at his times, actually.
Now, did we not point out that Josh has run a 101 flat in race here?
No, we have not pointed that out.
That's crazy.
He ran a 101 something, but I don't know that it was quite. I think it was a 101.5 or 6, but he's obviously bested that with. There you go, lap 5. If you're looking at his
it was back in lap 5. Yeah. Looks like
that is cooking.
Yeah, Vetter Dan ran a 101.5. Has been his fastest. Well, at least since lap 4. Esta's fastest. Esta has yet. Oh no, he did break into the 101s back on lap 4. 101.7.
117. Yep.
So these guys have all run in the 101s, but Josh is running 101 flat. I mean, what's going on up there?
Well, T-Case has not been able to get that one to the A10 into the 101s unless he did it very early on in the race.
Looks like his lap 4 was a 102.758 for T-Case's best lap. Fernando's a 102.394 has been his fastest lap thus far. So he's got the potential. It's just been consistency.
Yeah, and obviously he had that couple, one issue and then a pit lane infraction. Those will punish you through a race like this. And you can see our field is split out a little bit. Josh has definitely got some breathing room here between him and number 2 and Vetter Dan. As to see holding on to 3rd position pretty handedly, and T-Case is holding on to 4th at the moment. So let's see if these guys can get through the next 5 laps unscathed. If you're the pit crew leader, I'm just telling my guy, hey, chill, run your race. If you can get a pass done, that'd be fantastic. But you just got to put in consistent laps here and try and close it out.
Yeah, Josh is 6.2 ahead. Vetter's about 5.5 seconds ahead of Esta, and then we got almost 20 seconds between Esta C and TK. So, yeah, to your point, this is just stay consistent. Just don't do anything crazy. We're not at this point, unless somebody makes a major mistake. There's not going to be much position changing going on here. I say that, and Esta just almost went a little too hot through the apex there.
Yeah, and that could be easy to do on a few of these corners, right? We saw with Fernando, with one tire in the grass, and it can be disastrous if you're trying to get on the power. There can be very, very. Oh, he just beat his 101.080 with a 101.039.
Josh, you're just showing off now, dude. Just come on.
Yeah, he has not lost a beat throughout these 15 laps that we have currently run.
Yeah, and I think Josh is on controller too. So yeah, he's cheating.
Is that right?
Yeah, him and Shaggy, they cheat.
Oh.
I think we all know that a controller is superior to a $3,000 steering wheel. I think we all know that.
It's funny you say that, C-Dubs. We see a lot of these guys that go out and prove that every day. If you ask me, that's not as fun to me. I did not enjoy driving on a pad the way that I wanted to. So, I actually quit racing for years before I could actually afford myself a sim. Here I am. That doesn't mean I'm any better on the sim. I wouldn't have great on the pad anyway.
Yeah.
So Vetter Dan is trying to close that gap a little bit. He's got a 101.387, which is a very good time. And announcer's curse.
You did that. You did that slow-mo. You got me.
I did that. As you see, STC cruise right on by to take P2 off of STC's hands. We're going to get another look at it. C-Dubs, did you see what happened? Did you just get on the power too quick?
Yeah, I was actually sitting. I thought he was going to keep it under control here, and then no, he spun out into the grass. And then you got the whole, okay, now another car's coming. I'm trying to not hit him. Stay right here. Put it in gear. Let's go. So yeah he,
Sorry about that, Vetter Dan.
Yeah, 100% slow-mo's fault without question.
Yep. I take full responsibility. So he has a chance to still catch up to Ecstasy and get that spot back with a couple laps left. Here you go. Here is Josh. Let's see if we can put a voodoo on him to give our number 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 drivers a chance.
There's no way that Josh is going to make a mistake. There's no way in the world.
Way?
No way. Now spin.
Never say never, see that.
That did not work. I was doing all I could there.
He's just too good. He is over the announcer's curse, which there is something to be said there.
Yeah, 14.5 seconds. Even if we cursed him and got him to spin, he'd probably still have time to get her straightened out and hold the lead.
This is not the announcer you're looking for. Okay. Ecstasy in P2. He's got Vetter Dan not terribly far behind him. So anything could change here between now and the end of the race. And we are 18 laps in. They basically have 2 laps remaining.
So real quick, just to catch you guys up on the chat, Root popped in, Full Speed Racing Team popped in. Root, what's up, brother? Papa popped in. He said, look at all these jokers. Yes, sir. They're your jokers and other jokers. Stiggy said he is sipping out of his salamander merch mug as we speak. Awesome, Stiggy. Thank you.
How about that? A salamander gear, very nice. I got to get myself some of that. Little salamander merch, and it looks like Better Dan has had another mix-up there. I didn't catch what happened. Let's see if we can get a look here. C-Dubs, did you catch this?
I did not. I was not with Better Dan.
Turn? Grass. Nope, that didn't do it. He came out.
There it is.
There, yeah. And then straight to the wall.
And that's just that frustration. You know, he had the wreck earlier. It's like, okay, now I got to push it a little bit harder and try to catch up. I am the world's worst. It's the same way with golf for me. You know, like, oh, that last hole was terrible. Now I'm mad. I got to do better.
And look at this as we look on board with our leader here. Manages his fuel almost to the tee. Not too much, not too little. Look at that. That looks great. It looks like he's going to be able to close out this final lap here for a very, very sturdy victory. Ecstasy holding on to second position pretty handedly as well. Unfortunately, we saw Better Dan, who got himself into a little bit of a tangle with the wall. And then there is T-Case, who has done a very good job with what he had today.
So we're talking about consistency. If we can look at Josh Moment's times again, I mean, he is 101 down the line, except for, you know, what was it, lap 18, where he really screwed up and got a 102.3. So,
right. And Josh is going to come in and bring home the W with a little bit of showmanship there.
A little flair. Little flair there
for the fans. Well done. Here's Ecstasy, who is going to bring home a P2 on our first heat of the Joker Series today. Well done. Better Dan, as we saw, had a couple challenges throughout the race. He's going to end out in P3.
Great job, Josh. I see he's
well done, Better Dan.
Yeah, Josh is toying with us in chat. I mean, he's like literally chatting during the race,
talking
about the announcer's curse.
Announcer's curse. What's that? What are you guys talking about? I never heard of it. T-Case with a P4. Well done. Look at these guys. They certainly practiced their showmanship.
Yeah, they did.
And here comes Fernando.
Come on, Fernando. He didn't give us a spin.
He didn't get it.
T-Case, yeah, he nailed it.
Great
job, guys.
Yeah, that was fantastic. So, Josh Moment with a very solid victory in our first heat of the Joker Series tonight. Man, that was solid. So, C-Dubs, any thoughts? What do you say about that? Let's go through the results real quick, and then we can discuss.
Well, I thought that Esta and Better Dan would hold tighter to Josh Moment, but Josh was just crazy consistent, just solid. Obviously has put some time in on this track. I mean, he's fast anyway, right? Let's just be honest. But Esta, great showing. Better Dan with a couple boo-boos there. T-Case, in P4, Fernando in P5.
Yeah, very good. To your point, I was wondering if we were going to be able to see some guys keep it close. Josh just really seemed to add gap every single lap, whether it was a half second or more on some of those lap times. Very dominant performance by him. C-Dubs, who do you think you would have to select as your driver of the split for that?
I hate to be so generic here, but how do I not? If you gave me first option, I'm going to pick it. I mean, Josh Moment, he killed it.
Okay, I will give you another angle, and I think there is that kind of thing where you don't always want to pick the leader. The leader obviously won the race. Well done to Josh. That was fantastic. I'm actually going to pick Ecstasy here. I thought he did a really good job keeping himself in the mix. Not getting out of control. He gave himself that opportunity to be in the running. The guy in front of you, and unfortunate for Better Dan, but he had an incident. Ecstasy was able to close that gap, take back P2. So my driver of the split is going to be Ecstasy.
Right on.
So, yeah. Let's see. We don't get that. God, that hat is amazing. Can we do you think we can get a virtual high five here? You got one?
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Yeah, the problem is it does not fit over my headphones. So, I'm just going to leave it off for now. I mean, we know it's here. It's cool. I mean, it's Joker.
Why so serious, C-Dubs?
Yeah, why so
All right, we are going to go to break, and we will be back here with results on driver of the split and our next split. So hang in, go get yourself a fresh beverage. We'll be right back.
Pedal down, heartbeat rising, no retreat, no compromising. Every second sparks ignite, push it harder, cut the night. Closer now, the light is burning. Every turn, the tide is turning. Risk it all, I feel alive. This is the moment I arrive. I'll break the line, I'll cross the fire, ride the speed, I'm climbing higher. No holding back, the world is mine. One last lap, I'll break the line. I'll Winchester lead, let the chaos bleed. Cut across the edge where madness fades. Phantom Joker, let me break the map. Wildcard racer in a technicolor trap.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. That was a fun race. It did get a little more spread out than I think what we thought it was going to, but ultimately that was some fast laps. I couldn't believe Josh with a 101 flat.
Right.
I haven't seen that in any of the practices I've done yet, so that is mighty quick. You know, and kudos to T-Case for toughing it out in the Alpine A110. It looked like that car was a little outclassed with the 4C, but who knows? You know, maybe with the right driver, the Alpine could come alive. It's always interesting to see if that'll happen. Any other thoughts you guys have on watching that one?
Well, I mean, I thought it was really fun to watch. You know, I think it was interesting to see how the car choice maybe had a pretty big impact on TK specifically. But then again, you make a mistake and the car, it doesn't matter what car you're in. So,
right.
I think you have just as good an opportunity to do well in some of those other cars if you're keeping yourself in on the track, off the grass. So I feel like one of the fourth keys is going to be keep your tires on the track.
Yeah, well, that was my key number one, is to keep control. Try to keep your car from spinning out. I mean, Vetter Dan had P2 all locked up, and then spun out the first time, and then C-Dubs, like you were saying, you start to get a little aggravated. It's like, all right, now I need to catch up. I need to get back to my spot, and then he spun out again. So it's just a matter of staying within the boundaries of what you can do. I did close the poll out. It looks like Josh Moment not only ran away with the race, but ran away with the driver of the race. So congratulations to him on both wins. Yes, good job there.
Now, shocking here, I want to tell you, because we can see the lobby. I cannot believe it, but it's all 4Cs right now. I wonder what's going on there.
Yeah, I see that T-Case has swapped out his...
T-Case is switched up? Okay.
Yeah, he switched out his Alpine to a 4C.
T-Case.
It looks like it's lime green, so we'll see that in
with the peer
just a
pressure.
minute here.
I mean, too much peer pressure, T-Case. I mean, I didn't expect you to fold like that, but here we are.
It looks like we got everybody that ran it before is sticking around. Stiggy has joined the lobby. Mr. Racing's in there, but I think he was going to wait one more split before he readies up. And I did see our friend VKG join in temporarily and then left. I think he might be getting a car, is my guess. But I had heard him on his stream earlier talk about how he was hoping to come in and run this. So we'll probably give him a few minutes to see if he comes back. But right now we have a grid of 6. So one more car. We can get a couple more in there then.
And Sal, real quick, I promised a shout out, right? So, yes, I've had quite the project going on at my house. We've not to bore everybody to tears. I live in an area where I'm pretty sure our power company's run by the mafia still, like back in the 30s or whatever, and they had crazy kilowatt hour charges. Anyway, so my wife and I made a decision to go. We're not off grid, but we have the potential to be. And so we've had quite the project going, and we've had a couple guys that have been here basically for 3 weeks. They've become, those of you that have heard me broadcast, our neighborhood. We have a cool neighborhood. We have watch parties. And so speaking of one of the places we have watch parties, my solar dudes, Jeff and Andrew, are down at one of those neighbors' houses right now, probably watching this. And then also we're going to watch the football game in a little bit. So I want to give a shout out to those dudes. They've done some spectacular work. Suns Out Solar is the name of the company, and they handle things through Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, anything from a few small panels to a massive system. So thanks, guys, for that. I hope you're watching. I gave the shout out like I promised. The other thing is I'm probably going to go join them here shortly. So I'm going to stick around for just a little bit to help these guys get this underway. And then Slow-Mo's bound to curse a few people in this next race by himself. It won't be me, I promise.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, it looks like we've got up to now 8 people in the lobby. Metal joined. As I was hoping, VKG did come back in, although he's not readied up yet. So we're still waiting for VKG to get in there. And Mr. Racing joined up, although he did say in the chat that he's going to miss qualifying. So he'll do a start from the back and see what happens. But I'm gonna go check. Just like last time. I'm gonna go check in with these guys, see if they're all ready, see if VKG is gonna run in this one. I'll let you guys chat it up for a few while I go talk to them, and I'll let you know when we're ready to get this one underway. So again, I'll be back after this race.
Sal, we
all right.
appreciate it, sir.
Yep.
Stay out of trouble. You know the
Hey,
drill.
and stay seated. When we're done with qualifying, we're gonna see you guys again, just for like a minute or two. Just so you know that's coming up.
I'll do my best.
All right.
I'll do my best.
I'll be back later. All right. See you.
All right. Sounds good. Hey,
So, C-Dubs, I guess the question is, does anybody have time to get a moment?
you
No,
know, like
maybe?
like a Josh moment. Yeah, so let's cheat a little bit. You know, I mean, I've never seen any of these guys here, right? But I just think Josh Moment could probably potentially run a fast lap here. That's just I'm just guessing.
I think we've already seen what he's capable of. So now the question is, you know, do you go after him? I'm joking. That's not how these guys race. But you know, what do you do to stop him? How do you get yourself in front of somebody that's just on fire?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, the dude's quick. You know, I mean, I think that Vetterdan and Esta both have the potential to run those crazy fast laps. So in the event that one of them could get a better qualifying time, get in front of him, they could at least make it harder, at least keep it tighter. But yeah, as we saw in that first race, if Josh is up front, it's just so crazy consistent. Like, that's what I struggle with, right? Like, I can run a fast lap, but can I run a fast lap after lap after lap, right? That's the whole key to this.
20 of them.
Exactly. And that's, I mean, you know, when you think about what separates a good racer from a great racer in sim racing, it's obviously those guys that can just do that same lap over and over. They're usually within a tenth or two, and we saw that out of Josh Moment. So great job, Josh. And yeah, other fast guys, you know, obviously VKG's fast, no question. I've not seen him run a lot. He didn't run, I don't know if I'm sure he ran at least a league race, but I didn't see him enough to know he's A+, right? So we know he's got some consistency there. SRP, Mr. Racing, he's obviously fast. So a lot of fast guys in here. It'll just be, can they keep it tight? Can they keep it tight up front and give themselves a chance toward the end?
I'm sorry. Every time I look over at your screen, it makes me giggle. It's such a great representation for the Joker series. So you guys did so good over there. It's like you're warmed up for Halloween now, right? So
Exactly.
Maybe the Joker, little green hair, the purple jacket. You got the whole. You're ready. You're ready.
Yeah, and what I said before, my only worry is I'm not certain what products my daughter put on my face. So I don't know if we're pulling out bleach. I don't know if we're getting the pull shock out, alcohol. I really don't know what it's going to take, but hopefully I can get this off my face before I join the other group.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. The only condition I have, if you're going to leave, you have to leave that on.
Oh, good Lord. Good Lord. I would never hear the end of it.
Oh, I mean, you might not hear the end of it from us if you take it off. So.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
At least a picture. And then you can go in the bathroom and get cleaned up. But you at least got to show up that way. I mean, they're watching anyway, aren't they? They know.
I mean, they know, but, you know, whatever. I might run into other neighbors on the way that don't know, and then it's just a thing. It slows me down. I'm trying to get to the cold iced tea. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, we got an exciting race coming up. Obviously, we saw one just not very long ago. It looks like we're going to have 9 drivers in this split, C-Dub. So, like I said before, maybe people were hanging out. They wanted to see the first one and trying to decide if they were willing to give it a shot or not. And so here we are. We've got some people that are gonna go ahead and put it down. So I believe, obviously, we're going to start with qualifying first. Once the drivers are geared up and ready, they're getting their helmets set up and getting themselves buckled in. Did you hear... Real quick, while we're killing some time, I'll tell you guys one of my favorite April Fool's joke was they had an article that was saying that the Sim Racing League was going to require seatbelts on April Fool's. It was the funniest article I've ever. They were so serious. They're like, well, you know, it's not safe, and the kids are jumping out of the seats, and it was so well done. If you ever get a chance, Google that. It's a good read for you. That was done on an April Fool's. The drivers are buckled in, getting their seat belts and their helmets ready to go for a qualifying session here.
Looks like we got
watch out
about
for those Joker eject seats.
Yep, getting ready to get underway here. Got about 1 second, 2 seconds before we jump into quali here. So we'll see. We'll see. We need somebody to hold Josh Moment off. We need to not let him just blast away here.
Yep, and I will do my best to stay
in the seat through qualifying here. So here we go to the track. As you see on the left-hand side, we've got our 9 drivers. Some of the same ones you saw in the previous race and a couple newbies. So there is Ecstasy. And C-Dubs, didn't you say Josh changed his livery?
I think Sal pointed that out. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention, to be honest with you. I was too busy concentrating on the fact that TK sold out on the Alpine.
So there is Mr. Racing. I love the fade, Mr. Racing. Very nice. Good look. T-Case. There you go. And a vehicle change. And that, boy, you cannot miss that ride.
Yeah, that's the Joker hat spread across the whole rear of the vehicle. I just realized that cool when he spun around. Yeah, that's super cool.
There is Stiggy. We got to look at him. Metal.
Yeah, I like that matte finish. Yeah, he's got the shiny Alfa Romeo Bilstein Arai helmets. Good looking fade to the red around the wheel wells. Good looking ride.
Yeah, he did. He put on a Hugo. So he's Hugo Boss now, huh? Yeah. That one was Boss. This one's Hugo. And there is Vetter Dan in the Abstract Mobile. All right. So we have our outlaps completed. Ecstasy is our lead vehicle currently on their hot lap.
Go Esta. Come on.
And we know that there is plenty of skill out there, but now that everybody's warmed up, maybe that'll help them, know where they can push and know where to let off a little bit more. So maybe we will see a little bit more competition for our recent winner there in Josh.
Yeah, I hope Sal made sure that he had tires set at sport medium, because I feel like maybe Josh had some racing tires on. Maybe that's what's going on. I don't know.
Being sneaky.
He might have pulled one over on us here.
All right, so as we get our drivers coming through, our grid is beginning to shape up just a little bit. Currently, we've got Ecstasy, Stiggy, and Metal in the top 3, Fernando in 4. And there's Metal throwing himself up into P3. Stiggy jumping up into P3.
And of course, Josh Moment just threw down a 101.3. I mean, Josh, just go. I mean, you could have gone last and made this fun. You know what I mean?
Maybe his next livery should be Cobra Kai No Mercy.
That's right. No mercy.
So there's Vetter Dan, who is currently sitting in P2 through qualifying.
And only 2/10 back, so he's right there.
Yeah, he's not off the pace too far at all. And as you mentioned, there are plenty of guys in here who have the ability to get it done and put up a time that could be right there with Josh. Diggy wants some. I think he improved on his previous best, but not able to do too terribly much. Josh going in for a fresh set of tires. I don't remember seeing that in the first qualifying.
Oh, he's pulling off some new
or
stuff
is he
here.
Parked?
Could be. Maybe it's like, you know what? You guys have at it. Good luck with that 101.3.
Yeah, is he just leaving it out there and letting everybody see what they can do?
Well, he's definitely
getting a whole lot of time. There's fresh tires, yeah.
Yeah, he just took on some tires and off he goes. Oh, and a penalty. So he's going to burn this lap for sure. He may not have time to get around.
And he was going to have to burn that lap anyway, but the penalty is not going to help his scenario. So coming down, we've got about a minute left in qualifying. As you see the track, though, there are some drivers that are going to be able to get an extra lap in, and some may be in the wrong spot on the track and not be able to. So we'll see how that plays out for these guys.
So Vetterdan did move up into P2 with a 1016. So he's right there.
Yeah. See, Dubs, look at the difference there between Better Dan and.
Oh, that's plenty of
Golly,
a gap. I mean, 8,000s. Think of what you can do in that amount of time.
My golly. So T-Case has got himself up into that P4 position now that he's got himself into a different vehicle.
Yeah,
I think he's liking the 4C now.
1024. He's in the top 5 of everybody that ran at the first split.
And Fernando is currently sitting in P5 over Mr. Racing, Metal, and Stiggy. T-Case jumping up in 2. No, I'm sorry, we changed cars. I thought we were having a position change. Sorry. So the 5-minute mark is out. These guys are on their last lap, so Fernando's going to be our first one to finish. Doesn't improve. Was that Stiggy? Here comes T-Case, Metal. And it looks like Josh is actually in the pits. Maybe after that penalty, so that'll do. Let's see if they can beat me. And Mr. Racing also in the pits. We're watching BKG. Here comes Better Dan around wide on that turn. 101.809. So maintaining a P2 for him.
I'm going to guess that VKG just got word and was like, you know what, I'm going to jump in this lobby and have some fun. And we appreciate you doing that because I know VKG, if he'd ran some laps beforehand, he'd be up there in that top 5.
Yeah. Thanks for joining VKG. So, C-Dubs, you want to run us through our qualifying results there?
Absolutely. Shocking that Mr. BHR Beehive Racing Josh Moment with a 101.3. Vetterdan right behind him with a 101.6. S to C, I mean, really close with a 627. T-Case, much improved. Fernando, much improved. SRP, Mr. Racing, he's right there in the mix. Metal, Stiggy, all of them are right there. I mean, we're talking a second and a half. Then VKG with a 104. Again, he's way faster than that, but I think he just jumped in here to check it out, and we greatly appreciate that. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah, very good. And, I understand we did a pretty good job tracking the Joker lap on the previous race. We had 5 drivers. It might be a little more tricky now that we've got a bigger lobby here to keep track of who's done it, who hasn't. So definitely get your tally sheets out there. And for those of you drinking at home, every time somebody does a Joker lap, that's definitely a drink lap. So make sure and get that going there. Solar guys, time, just saying.
Just drink one.
That's right. So, C-Dubs, what do you think here? Are you going to hang around with us for the race here and see how these guys run?
I'm going to stick around till you get underway, and then I'm going to throw you under the bus, and I'm going to head down that way and join those guys for some football and some cold iced tea. If you're okay with that. If you want me to stick around, I'd be happy to stick around too, but I think you got it. I mean, Slow-Mo, you're the man.
I appreciate that. Always good to have you with me with some support. So you do a fantastic job there, and I'm always happy to have you in the booth.
Now I do feel like maybe when you go off camera, maybe get your makeup going. I mean, you know what I'm saying. That way, when you come back at the end of the race, you'll be ready to go. Somebody's got to step it up.
Yeah. No, I wasn't prepared for that. Hell, I was trying to decide do I go with a sponsor shirt, or should I go with a shirt and tie? I wasn't sure. I don't do a lot of camera work. But
well, Slow-Mo, take it away. Thanks, guys, for letting me be here with you.
All
It
right,
looks like you're about to take it over, about to get the race underway. So appreciate it, Sal. Y'all have a good night. Everybody have a good night, and we'll talk to everybody soon.
All right, here we go. We've got our drivers on grid. Headlights are flashing. Horns are honking. And they are prepared to get rolling. This is a rolling start, so these guys are going to roll through the start-finish. That'll kick it off and give them full power to the vehicles. So we are about to get underway on our second Joker Series event for the night. And Josh obviously went through and won our previous stint, so let's see if he can do it again. Vetterdan Ecstasy. The last race started very similar with the 3 of these guys in 1, 2, 3. We have TK's currently in P4. Fernando in P5, Mr. Racing 6, Metal in 7, Stingy in 8. I'm watching behind Josh to see if there's any shakeups. We may have a potential move going on. I couldn't quite see it. Looks like Mr. Racing is putting some pressure on Fernando, able to get in the inside, couldn't quite get it done. Is he going for a switcheroo? He is not yet. One make race here for these guys. Mr. Racing is definitely putting pressure on Fernando. He's going to go ahead and get that done there, I think. I don't know if he had enough juice to get by him, but maybe not. Fernando able to hold him off through that turn. And this looks to be the closest battle on track, as Mr. Racing is eyeing up every little opportunity to try and make some room and get by. So for our first lap, we'll see the vehicles come through the line, and our guys are setting their initial times. You see there VKG kind of hanging out in the back. He's going to be able to catch up a little bit here as the grid continues to move forward. So Mr. Racing still maintaining strong pressure on Fernando. Fernando is going to run wide. Unfortunately, that is going to open up the door for probably a few people to make a pass on him. We'll see. Looks like Fernando is coming out in currently 8th position. And I think we also had a few people run a Joker lap, perhaps, if I didn't miss that. You'll see Fernando just maybe a little late on the brakes through there. Couldn't quite get the car slowed down. Ended up in the grass. So here we have it. I'm not 100% sure if we had Joker laps that were ran there. That was the second lap, so you do have an option to do that. Once you've completed your first lap, you simply can't run the Joker on the first or one of your pit laps. So good opportunity to get it out of the way for some of our drivers. I'm not sure if we did, though. So here we have Josh, Vetter Dan, Ecstasy, 1, 2, 3. Mr. Racing has gotten himself up into 4th. TK's currently in 5th. Metal in 6th. Fernando in 7th. Stiggy in 8th. And I think we've got VKG is in 9th. All right, sorry, had to get a drink. Mr. Racing, what just happened? That looked like that might be a netco. In my screen, it looked like he got air. I don't know if that happened, but that was something else. Can we get a replay? Let's see here. Here's Mr. Racing coming through. It may just be a netco type scenario. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Well done there. I don't see any. There it goes. There it goes. Oh, clip that, buddy. That's who put a speed bump on the track? Well done. Oh man. So, I along with the Joker series, apparently Salamander has arranged for random speed bumps to be on track. Good luck, gentlemen. He maintained control. It didn't look like it did anything out of the ordinary to him, but I mean, I've never seen anything like that in my life. So we stay on board with Mr. Racing just in case he is gonna. Is that the time machine? Was he kicking into the hover gear? I'm not sure. That was pretty cool, though. If nothing else, that made my absolute day. That's great. So, Josh currently holding up first position. We're riding along board with Stiggy, who is in P7, and he is trying to hunt down Metal. It's not a very large gap between those two. Stiggy is going to see if he can find some room to get a pass done. Metal is running a touch wide there. Stiggy's going to play through the inside, brings him right up to the bumper, and he's about a half second off there. There is our leader with Josh. And keep an eye on him for one moment. We're going to move to Vetter Dan, Ecstasy in 3rd. There is Mr. Racing in 4th. The TK's close in tow. TK's getting a little bit of the grass there. Here's a battle as we see. Looks like Sticky was going to try and get a pass down, but couldn't quite make it work. Metal is getting as wide as he possibly can with that 4C. There is the move that Stiggy's been looking for. He shoots up the inside and is able to get through. And now he's going to have Metal following closely behind. We'll take another look at it here as you see Metal run just a little bit to the left. Stiggy gets into the inside and positions himself to get to that apex first. Really nice pass there by Stiggy as he's able to get by Metal. Textbook pass there. So you look at the fastest time, we've got Josh who's put up his, it's just his normal 101.325, no big deal. He can do it, he's got it under control. Vetter Dan is not far behind him in second position with S to C back in third. You'll see a little bit of a gap between him and P4 and Mr. Racing. And keep in mind, we are on our 6th lap, so these guys are just getting warmed up. You'll see the gas tanks are about a half a tank for the majority of the drivers. You're starting to see a touch of tire wear through today's race as well. That will also play a factor in as these guys push very hard to try and close the gap between them and the driver in front. So there we have VKG Racing, who's got Fernando right behind him. My guess would be that maybe Fernando's ran that Joker lap. I don't remember seeing an incident that put him back in the ninth. And Fernando's got some good pressure there. So our leader, who is about 2.5 seconds in front of the next driver with Vetter Dan. We're watching with Josh Moment. He went from the Voss car to the Hugo livery, so they swapped out vehicles, got him a fresh ride. And, you know, one thing I've heard that somebody like T-Case does in some scenarios, he'll actually buy multiple of the same vehicles so he can swap out from race to race to race if he's running the same race like on his T-Case series. So, wonder if that's something that Josh has done, got himself a brand new vehicle with a different livery instead of just a different livery. There you have Fernando in P8. Looks like he was able to get that pass done, move up from VKG. And he's got a little bit of work to do to catch up to Metal, who is currently in P7. Speaking of 7, this is our 7th lap. 8th lap for some of the folks that have passed the start-finish there with our lead pack. And there is our leader with Josh Moment, who is extending his gap ever so slightly each lap. He's up to about just over 2.5 seconds at this point. And we have, 12 laps to go. So can anybody catch him? Will he make a mistake? The announcer's curse clearly doesn't work. I've tried. No, sorry, Josh. As we see, Vetter Dan is a little bit further back now. So that gap went from 2.5 to 3.3, almost 3.4 in the matter of a couple turns. So Josh has definitely got an edge on the drivers behind him for today's race. Checking out Vetter Dan, you'll see S to C is a couple seconds back, 2.5 back. Definitely within striking distance. This feels very similar to the previous race. So hopefully Vetter Dan can maintain control, as Sal pointed out, one of the keys for our races, and keep himself in P2. The next question you see, T-Case has gone into the pits. So lap 9, T-Case is going to run about 11 laps on a tank of fuel, try and get himself back up into the front of the group. You'll be anxious to see when Josh, Vetter Dan, or S to C are going to make their pit moves. I would imagine it cannot be too much longer. I think, if I remember correctly, I think Josh did pit on lap 11 in the first race. So we'll see if he maintains the same strategy he executed through the first split. There you have S to C. So he's just about 2.5 seconds off of Vetter Dan. He's got a pretty good gap between him and Mr. Racing. So nobody really crawling up his rear view mirror at this time. And Vetter Dan has just, every time he looks back, he's got to see S to C back there. So definitely making sure to stay in his vision. As we see, Josh is running the Joker lap there. And Sal, if you can hear me, I don't know, did anybody else follow him through that? I didn't catch if there was another vehicle that did it. Okay, I just think Josh was the one that did that. So he's got his Joker lap done. And now you can see Vetter Dan is much closer than he was prior. So perhaps we didn't catch Vetter Dan's Joker lap. No, actually, Vetter Dan is going to go into the pits right at the midway point, so lap 10. So that'll put S to C just back about 4 seconds from Josh at the moment. And we take a ride on board with our leader for just a moment. Yeah, that one's better probably. You can tell his tires are definitely becoming worn. He has enough fuel to do another lap. Looking at his times, looks like lap 10 was, with the Joker lap, a 1:04. So if you really look at the impact that the Joker lap is having here, it really, for Josh, only cost him about 3 seconds there total. So maybe not too terrible compared to what we saw. Here is another Joker lap as we see Mr. Racing, who is going through. And actually, I don't know that he took his Joker lap. He's got his turn signal on, but I don't think he took it. So we take a look on board metal here. Josh has gone to the pits, so it looks like he is maintaining the same strategy as race prior. Lap 11. S to C has gotten by him while he is in the pits, and we have Mr. Racing currently in third, Metal in fourth, Better Dan in fifth. There's our current leader, S to C. And we have a Joker lap that S to C has run. Oh, new leader, I'm sorry. I love the graphics. I really love that. But I don't know if we had a lead change in the first race, so that's the first time I'd seen that one since last month. Here we go with S to C. You would imagine he's going to have to make a pit stop. Mr. Racing as well, looking at his fuel levels, he cannot get too many more laps out of that thing. But I think his strategy for the overcut may work out okay, as he's got about a 16-second lead on him and Better Dan. Not the quickest pits in the world to get out of. And oh no, I think Better Dan had an incident. I'm not sure. I saw a wiggle. It looks like he might have some dirty tires. Let's see if we can take a look at what happens. Here he's coming around this left-hand turn. It's going to go wide. Yep, certainly. Able to do a very good job recovering. He's definitely got dirty tires going into the next couple turns. So you saw that would play an impact on him. And there is Josh making a move to get by him. Josh is going to go ahead and take over P3 for the moment. And there goes, oh, I'm sorry. Because of the pits, that puts Josh and Better Dan into 1 and 2. Good call on that from Sal with the new leader icon there. Well done, sir. So here is our leader, and Josh, who has Better Dan right behind him. And looks like we have a Joker lap coming from Better Dan. He's going to run in then through there, which will cost him 1 position, putting S to C in second place. And you can see there's about a 12-second gap between Better Dan and T-Case. So here we go. T-Case in the brightest vehicle I've seen all year. I love it, though. It's got the Joker hat on the back. Looks really good. That's a good job. T-Case is trying to get himself in position to close that gap between him and Better Dan. He's staying just far enough ahead of Mr. Racing to make sure he's okay. Mr. Racing's having a good race today, obviously. For, not running in the first one. I expected a lot of the guys that were in the first race to have a little bit of an advantage now that they're warmed up. They ran their first 20 hot laps. And you see Better Dan is doing everything he can to put some pressure on S to C. Obviously, we saw in the first race, S to C was the one putting the pressure on Better Dan. Better Dan did get a little bit of a gap and then ended up having a little mix-up with the grass. Now we have S to C is the one in front. Better Dan putting the pressure on him. So probably thinking to himself, let's see how you drive with me in your rearview mirror. And Better Dan is purple through those sections. Coming around that final turn, is he going to put up something faster than our 101.259? He did not. It was very close. It was a 101.358. So Better Dan definitely on pace to get himself a little bit of room take away some of that room between him, Ecstasy, and also our leader in Josh Moment. Lap 15, so these guys have just a few more laps to get it done. There is a little bit of space on the track. If you look in the upper right-hand corner, you see the track layout where the cars are positioned. However, that does not mean that these positions are laid in stone. Anything can happen. Very easy for these guys to go out and catch some grass, or unfortunately just get the power down too quick. So we've seen issues that can occur. Can Ecstasy hold off Vetter Dan, who maybe seems to be losing a touch of pace there on Ecstasy over the last couple turns? And I think you really get some leeway to run that turn there wide. I don't think we've seen anybody acquire a penalty through there, which is good. There is our P4 driver, T-Case, the bearded wonder himself. Mr. Racing currently sitting in P5. We've got Metal at the moment in P6. P7 is Stiggy. Fernando B is in P8. And then we've got BKG Racing currently in P9. So our leader is on the 17th lap. He's closing in on the finish here. And he has gone purple again. Pushing a little bit more. Nice light car. Gives him the opportunity to really put in a good time. And there it is with a 101.057. We saw him run something very similar in the first race. We know he's got even a couple more tenths he can try and rip out of this course if he's able to do that. Looks like he is shooting for the perfect lap. Can you do it every time? No, but you certainly can try. So, Ecstasy is pushing P2, and he's still got Vetter Dan hot on his tail. This is actually not necessarily over either. You know, if Josh were to make one little error or dip in the grass, that would certainly give Vetter Dan and Ecstasy every opportunity to get themselves up and give him some trouble. Coming down the straight there. It looks like Vetter Dan has lost just about like a half second on where he was earlier with Ecstasy. So just a little bit more space in between those two than there was about a half lap ago. And we've got a few more laps going. Esta's pushing. And, you know, if you take a look at Estacy's times over there on the right, you know, from 14 to 17, 101.6, 101.4, 101.5, 101.7, that is very consistent. So he is making it very hard for Vetter Dan to catch up, who has had very good consistency along with him, maybe just a smidge different than we have with Ecstasy. So you'll see a little bit higher on the 13, and maybe that was his Joker lap, 102, 105, 11 obviously, and 10 were his box laps. So that gap does not seem to be changing too much here towards the end, and you see there's not really going to be a big tire or fuel difference between those two vehicles. It is anybody's race. So the white flag is out, 19th lap is started. You can keep a close eye here on this battle here between Vetter Dan and Ecstasy. And Vetter Dan, if you're going to make a move, now is the time to do it, buddy, but don't push too hard. Keep it under control. That's a very nice section there that Vetter Dan was able to. Here we go with a Joker lap for Ecstasy. Okay, so that will change the position, put Vetter Dan up in front of him. That explains why we were seeing that gap there, but everything has changed now. So Josh Moment is starting to pull away ever so slightly from these guys, and he has made quite the gap. It's going to take them more than a moment to catch up to him, unfortunately, and he is on his final lap. So there's Vetter Dan in 2, Ecstasy in 3. Take a look at T Case running P4. Mr. Racing is in P5. We've got Metal back in P6. Iggy in P7. Fernando in P8, and I always want to say Mr. VKG Racing is currently in P9. So, jumping back on board with our current leader, who is going to be bringing this one home. I can't imagine anything will change between now and this end of this next turn. Looks like Josh is going to bring home another victory in just one moment. There it is. Well done for our winner of splits 1 and 2 in Josh. Vetter Dan with a P2. Ecstasy coming in P3. Looks like TK should be able to close this out with a P4 on our second split. And there he comes around the last turn. Well done for TK. P4 on that one. Mr. Racing is going to close out the 5th position. Metal under some pressure from Stiggy. It looks like Metal is going to close in the 6th position with Stiggy back in P7. The Beehive Racing Fernando Buttons here in P8. Here he comes around our last turn on that right-hand turn. And he's got VKG Racing not far behind. So there you have it with P8 and 9. Well done to our winner of Split 2 and BHR, Josh Moment, representing the Beehive Racing community there. That is fantastic. And I am going to take you guys through these final results here. We have BHR Josh Moment with the victory and the fastest lap with his 101.057, cooking. I mean, just very consistent from what we saw in the first one as well. Vetter Dan with a very good result, coming in P2, able to keep his car under control, maintain and stay out of trouble, and keep that P2 position. Ecstasy was in P3. Oh, we went away from the results. I don't know if those are still there. There we go. Thank you. So we have T-Case ended in P4. Mr. Racing ended in P5. Metal in P6. Figgy finished in P7. BHR Fernando in P8. And then we had VKG Racing finishing in P9. So well done to all of our drivers there for the second split
of tonight's Joker series. Sal, I thought that was great racing. The strategy really seemed to be a crucial part of the race for position, Joker. Everything seemed to play a factor in there as you would expect it to. So I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, certainly with more drivers, we did see a lot more action. Vetter Dan and Ecstasy had a good battle there for quite a while. I didn't realize that Ecstasy hadn't taken their Joker lap yet. So It's like that battle was going on, not really knowing that he needed to, Vetter Dan just needed to stay close in order to capitalize and maintain second. He was able to stay consistent this time, keep from going into the grass too much, and was able to pull out a P2. So good job to Vetter Dan on that one. It's curious to see, a lot like in the keys to the race, C-Dubs had mentioned that practice really paid dividends here. All the guys up at the front were the ones that have already run the race, so that experience seems to, be helping out quite a bit.
Yeah, I would agree. So I'll throw it over to you. Who would you say for split 2 would be your driver of the split, Sal?
I think I'll take, since Josh got it last time, I'm going to give it to Vetter Dan, just because he was more consistent this time, was able to keep it on track, was able to pull out that P2. For me, he's the driver of the race.
Yeah, obviously I had my other selection other than the winner of the previous race. Going back to back with this group of drivers behind you, I have to give this one to Josh. Really well executed. He did the same strategy, basically back to back, and you know, made it look effortless. His pit timing was the exact same. He did pretty much everything the same, including going extremely fast, bringing home a fastest lap that was pretty much right in line with what he did the previous race. So I'm going to go with Josh Moment for my driver of the split there.
All right, awesome. I'll go ahead and get that poll up as we go to break here. Definitely everybody stick around. If we get enough drivers that want to run a third split, we will run a third split. Otherwise, if we don't, you're still going to want to stick around because we're going to reveal what next month's race combo is going to be. So, I think we'll go on break real quick. We'll be back in 5 minutes or so. Sound good? All right.
Down, heartbeat rising, no retreat, no compromising. Every second sparks ignite, push it harder, cut the night. Closer now, the light is burning. Every turn, the tide is turning. Risk it all, I feel alive. This is the moment I arrive. I'll break the line, I'll cross the fire, ride the speed, I'm climbing higher. No holding back, the world is mine. One last lap, I'll break the line. I'll break the wrist, twist of the cap.
All right, and we are back after 2 splits of racing. That second one was exciting. There was a lot more going on. It was a bit more of a one-make race, but we had some close battles. I mean, Josh still kind of ran away with it, but we saw a lot more going on there. There was some passing. We did see some people do. I think this is the first time I've seen people wait to do the Joker lap after their pit.
Right.
You know, Estacey did it right at the end. You know, really tried to hold that top spot up there for a while. And I think he was hoping to kind of pull away from Dan so that he could take the Joker and stay ahead, or maybe hold him up, but didn't quite work out. But I appreciate someone trying a different strategy there. So that was fun to see unfold.
Yeah, the opportunity to maybe get yourself a 3-second gap, run the Joker, come out side by side, you know, and have a drag race for the last lap.
Yeah, I mean, and even after taking it, because the Joker lap, you only lose 2.5, 3 seconds or so.
Yeah.
I mean, he's slotted in behind Vetter Dan, and all of a sudden he could start using the little bit of slip you get on that back straightaway. It wasn't quite enough to pull it off, but it certainly was worth taking a shot at it. When it comes to the poll here, it looks like Vetter Dan is leading this one. I'm going to go ahead and close that out. He's got 2/3 of the votes. So we're going to give the driver of the race to Vetter Dan, while the winner of the race on the track was Josh Moment.
Can't find a Vetter Dan.
There you go.
I don't sing that one well.
TK
I'm not tone deaf, but that one's not easy.
I get you. I did say in the chat that if we had at least 6 drivers, we would do a split 3. We currently have 8 sitting in the lobby waiting for us. So I think we'll probably go ahead and do another one. And yeah, Estacey saying in the chat, yeah, those races were great. You guessed right, Sal. I was hoping for a bigger gap to keep P2. So getting into the mind of a driver, it was worth a shot. It was definitely worth a shot to do. So,
well, you know, being the creator, you know a little bit about, you know, the intention and what, you know, what some of the strategy can be. So
yeah,
kudos to you for the combo here.
I was expecting to see a little bit more, you know, of a chess game, you know, as we talked at the beginning, more so than what we saw at Daytona. But, you know, with that being said, something we forgot to do between the last races was to go through the round info one more time. So if anybody's tuning in later. So let's run through that real quick, and then we'll get these guys on track.
Okay, great. So these guys are running at Tsukuba. Am I saying that? How do you feel? Am I saying it pretty close?
I always say Tsukuba.
Okay.
I use the T as silent.
Gotcha. And again, you know, so be it. So they're 20 laps. Within that 20-lap race, they have to run one of our Joker laps. The tire wear, you know, it's really pretty high, but we saw it doesn't thrash the tires up as bad as it could. So it could be worse. They're on sport mediums, only sport mediums. Fuel burn is pretty significant for these guys at 10 times. And then the refuel rate is going to be 5 liters a second. You'll see the 4 cars over there that these guys are
able to run. And, you know, for the most part, we've seen pretty much the majority of the drivers in one specific vehicle, being the 4C. So, you know, I'm very curious, and I think there's some rumors that we may see something different in this race come out and give it a try. So I'll be curious to see if anybody, you know, is taking a risk and going for something different there.
Yeah, it looks like in the lobby here, T-Case is running the RX-7, and he said in chat, real racers try different cars. So I can respect that. I do know, I will say this will probably be our last split of the night. The 4C in my testing did seem to be the meta. It was the one car I was able to get a 1 minute one in. The other cars, I was able to get like a low to mid 102. So the RX-7 and the Alpine are certainly competitive. I was kind of hoping that maybe one of our aliens would come in with one of those and make that competitive with the 4C. The throwaway, and I'm glad to see that people must have done some kind of research, or they're just following each other, is that the Audi was kind of the throwaway car. It was not good on fuel, not good on tires, and if anybody tried it, it would have been bad. So I threw that in there as a bit of a nugget to see if people were testing and trying stuff out, and it was either that they did, or they just asked each other around and said, "Yeah, don't do that one."
You joker, you.
Well, and that's the idea. I'm trying to kind of throw
Right.
some things in here and see what people go at. It looks like all the drivers are ready to go, so I think I'm going to go ahead and get this thing underway.
All right.
We're going to start qualifying, and then once it changes over to the race screen, we will also switch over. And I'll hang with you for this one, Slow-Mo.
Okay.
I know,
yeah, I appreciate that. It gets lonely up here by myself when you're just making all the magic happen behind the scenes. So
I know you want some company. I may not say a lot. trying to do all the other stuff, but you know, I'll do the best I can. But on track, get them going.
All right, so it looks like we are about to get our qualifying session rolling. They are, actually, these guys are rolling, so it is 16 seconds in. They are on their outlap, horns are honking, they're having a good old time, as are we here in the booth. So this is our third race of the Joker Series. And again, you know, one Joker lap, you can do it any lap you want. The one time you can't do it is on the first
Not
lap.
the first lap, not the last lap, and not an
Yeah.
out lap.
Okay, I was thinking first, last, and out. So, perfect. Good. And you'll see we've got some very good-looking vehicles out here. You know, and I wasn't paying attention as you were going through the grid there, Sal, but did Josh go for a different livery again?
He's got the same theme, but now it's green and it's Mint Mobile.
Mint Mobile. Yeah, look at it. You know, I speculate. I think he bought a bunch of these cars, and he's just getting a fresh car every race. That's my guess.
He may. Either that or he's got all the liveries in it. Because he did jump out, so he may have just jumped out, gone in the livery editor, and just, you know, brought up a different livery he created, and then just slapped the Joker Series on the windshield, which I appreciate.
Yeah. I like it. It looks good. It looks good. Everybody's liveries are very good, and obviously we have the one abstract that's, you know, it's just in a league of its own, to be honest with you. It's, some art critics might not like it, but I happen to enjoy it quite a bit.
I do know Josh does make all of his own liveries, so he appears to be a prolific livery designer as well, and I believe I have heard of him making liveries for some of the other BHR crew.
Very cool. Okay.
In fact, I've heard he likes doing the NASCAR replicas. In fact, I think I'd seen him post in, it was either the NRL or McNaughty's Discord, a replica he did of one of Jimmy Johnson's cars back in the day. He did on something else. I can't remember which car he did it on, but.
And as we're kind of talking through that, it looks like we have some drivers that are coming through with their first hot lap. As it stands right now, Josh has put up the benchmark of 101.400.
Better Dan again in the 101s, so certainly trying to keep Josh honest.
He is not far off that pace, and he's just, if he can, and he's gone ahead and reset, so he's going to go in. Is he saying that's it, or I wonder if he's going to get back out?
It might be that that's about the best lap he can run. Maybe he's just going to...
He said, you know what, that'll do. Mr. Racing is practicing the Joker lap.
Practicing the Joker lap during qualifying.
Okay. Maybe wanted to get over here by himself a little bit, I'm not sure.
You know, I mean, people can certainly do that. You could use that just to give yourself some space to get some clean air. If you think the guy behind you is untrustworthy, or you're afraid they might get into you, I mean, that's a viable strategy to get out of the way. He's certainly got time to still get some laps in. He should get 2 more.
Okay, so as it stands right now, it is a significant difference from our previous grid, other than the fact that we have Josh and Better Dan in 1 and 2. Mr. Racing in P3 right now. VKG having a much better round on qualifying here in P4. Stiggy in P5. Fernando B in P6. Metal in P7. T-Case in P8. Maybe the vehicle change did not play out quite as well as T-Case was hoping. Now, I recognize that vehicle, so I speak knowing that T-Case is comfortable driving that car. I've seen it many times He has no fear of that, but it might not be the one that he needed to be able to win this one today.
Yeah, it
I
definitely
don't know,
drives
Sal.
quite a bit different from the 4C, so it might be a matter of just getting some laps in and getting back to that familiarity like you said he has. I've seen him run it in his TK's Tuesdays quite a bit.
Yeah, I don't disagree with Case's point that, drive different cars. If you think about it from the professionals' perspective, they drive whatever their sponsors are paying them to drive, right? So, you don't. It's kind of like professional sports. You don't always get to pick which team you're playing for. You might be in the car that maybe you didn't want to drive, so you got to make that work. So,
Yep, that
that's
is
I think
absolutely true.
one good thing that they bring to light sometimes with some of the one make races that you'll end up doing within Gran Turismo. And by the way, did you mark where you're going to have to go back and we're finishing up qualifying? There's our checkered flag there. Did you mark the timestamp of us getting to see a vehicle do a jump on track?
I did not, but I will go back through the live
Oh.
stream probably tomorrow in order to capture that into a short.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I don't know that I've ever seen that before. So our grid is beginning to shape itself up here. No surprise that Josh is up in the top. Better Dan currently in second. Metal is holding on to third right now, although we still have people running hot laps out there. So those positions could significantly change here between now.
I think everyone's wrapped up.
Oh, are they blinking? I'm sorry. I thought
Yep.
they were still hot.
No,
Okay.
we're just waiting for it to come back. Josh in chat saying he had a bad time. A 1 minute.
Yeah.
1.3 is a bad time.
Terrible. It's terrible.
This might be another long race for second place.
All right. Well, let me run us through our qualifying results here. So we have Josh currently in P1 with that 101.379 as we discussed. Better Dan, who is about 0.3 back behind him. You've got Metal currently in P3, who's almost a second back on him. Stiggy not far behind Metal at 1 second back, off lead in P4. Mr. Racing currently sitting in P5. He's about 1.1 seconds off Stiggy's or off our lead pace. Excuse me. VKG Racing ended up in 6th position for qualifying. Fernando Buttons is currently in P8, and then we have T Case in that RX7 holding out in 8th position. So obviously, T Case will be looking to make some moves, potentially even early on in the race if he can get some positioning
to do so. I guess we'll have to see if he's going to be able to come in and put quick pressure on these guys to try and get himself up into a different position from 8th.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see as he starts to get more comfortable with it and get those times down. I was certainly able to get the RX-7 down in the mid 102s, so I'm sure TKs can do the same. And then it's a matter of just keeping it clean. I know you guys were talking about that in some of the previous races.
Yeah.
A lot of it is just being consistent and being clean and getting some passes done when people give you a gimme, so
right,
and that's part of it too. And TK's has a lot of experience with these road cars, so I expect him to do that. We'll see how everybody else shakes out. We saw VKG is a little bit higher on the qualifying this time. I know he was trying to just sort of get his feet wet and get familiar with it in that first stint.
Mm-hmm.
I'm anxious to see what he pulls out in this one. And now that we got Estacey's out this time, he did the first 2 stints, so that's going to leave some room for someone else to try to challenge Better Dan. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, honestly, I was looking for Ecstasy. I don't know that I even realized he wasn't in it until we got about halfway through qualifying. It's so the grid was definitely shaken up there. But it will be interesting. Can Better Dan make that ground up? He's kind of been on the heels of Josh for a few laps throughout both races. So he's been able to put a little bit of pressure on him. Does the announcer's curse play out? Does Josh make a mistake? There's a lot of different things that could still play out here between now and the end of the race.
Yeah, that's always the thing, that consistency. If he can just kind of hold it out, see if Josh does something. Maybe Better Dan, was slowed down a little bit by having to have that battle with Ecstasy. So we'll see if maybe he comes alive here, or if maybe he ends up on an island and the top 2 just kind of end up on their own. But there might be some more battling in the middle. We'll see how this goes. I think we're ready to start this race off, so we're going to get this one underway, and then we'll switch over to the actual race screen here in just a minute.
Okay.
Josh Moment says he's going for the sweep. He's got the confidence.
No doubt.
He's got the confidence.
Shooting for his 60 almost perfect laps throughout tonight. What, 59 perfect laps?
Yeah, I know you said you messed one up. So they're on the grid. We get a flash there from our, current. He's got 2 out of 3 of these races in the bag, trying to bring home the 3rd one for the night. There is Josh Moment, followed by Vetter Dan, Metal, Stiggy, Mr. Racing, and we see that's not good. Somebody ran off. Looked like a controller malfunction. I don't know if the steering wheel didn't get connected well. Vetter Dan. Oh, that is not how you wanted to see him start off this race.
I know I have heard of him having wheel issues in the past. I wonder if he just had a wheel disconnect.
If that is a fan attack, I recommend buying an adapter and plugging it into the USB-C drive on your PlayStation. So we watch Josh a moment start to pull away from the pack. Fredbird had that issue. It was disconnected on him, and he got an adapter. There's Stiggy with a little flash for you, currently in P2. But he got an adapter that went USB to USB-C and plugged it into the front, and he said he doesn't have that problem anymore.
Gotcha. And Stiggy got the overtake done on Metal there in that hairpin. That was a nice little pass. We'll see if Metal's going to try to battle back here.
Yeah, Metal definitely has the opportunity to put more pressure on him. And here you go. He's going to swing outside. Not necessarily the best position, but he could always try and sweep back for a little switchback on him. He's definitely looking through the inside, but it doesn't seem to be any room just yet. I think he's really in a great position, although now we've got Mr. Racing's going to go ahead and get in on the mix. So you've got a bit of a bigger cluster than what we've seen in the previous races as well here, with about 4 of these guys just bumper to bumper. And there you go. Look at this. Stiggy making a move on our leader.
I didn't realize that Josh had dropped back so much.
I don't know that I caught what happened. Is he just having a good old time? But look at those guys. They're almost too wide going back. They have now filed back into line. We're right on board with Stiggy, who's got himself a purple lap. So let's see how this first lap shakes out. Will Stiggy end up and Mr. Racing put some pressure on Metal? Stiggy goes ahead and puts up the fastest lap of the 102. 8.75, I believe. Oh, and we see somebody in the back. Yeah, with a big drift.
I think we may have just lost Dan.
Lost Vetter, yeah.
But Metal's having to battle for his positions here. He's had to fight off Stiggy to start with, had to fight with Mr. Racing there. He's falling back to 4th. Let's see if he can kind of gather it up and maintain that position, maybe try to get some of those spots back.
And you see, VKG Racing having a much better race on this second go round, as you mentioned prior. That one race under your belt really makes a big difference for these guys. His first race certainly didn't go as well as he wanted, and he got himself in a great position here. And P5 being able to see pretty much everybody in front of you right now.
Right. So Josh is again texting and driving. We do not recommend this, kids. Do not text and drive. But he is letting us know that he took his joker. That's why he had fallen back. He got his joker lap out of the way.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for letting us know, but please have your passenger tell us about it.
Josh, do you have your seatbelt on? I hope you have your seatbelt on. All right, so it's still on board with Metal, who, and again, can see pretty much everybody in front of him. There is not a whole lot of room between 1 and I'd say 4, 5, 6 maybe. T-Case is a little bit further back than the guys up in 1 through 5.
And just still ahead of Fernando. There. Mr. Racing has hunted down Stiggy. So Mr. Racing certainly making some gains here. Looks like Josh in his texting has forgotten to turn off his blinker. If this was in a competitive lobby, he would have incurred a penalty for having the blinker on and not taking the Joker. That is a penalizable offense, if that's a word.
Is that right? Okay.
So that's something for the drivers to keep in mind as we hopefully eventually get out of exhibition mode and get into some competitive lobbies. Then some of these little tidbits about like the protected zone and the blinker will be enforced and can then determine where you end up after the fact with some stewarding. So, but we knew the first couple of races people need to get used to it. That's why we're running it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe an opportunity to test this in the PHC World Series for a round. I don't know. Just throwing it out there. Hey, Shaggy, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
That's something to talk to Shaggy about.
Making an early round, it's certainly something different, but just a thought. I love the concept. Like I said, anytime you can add anything that's going to make it even more fundamental, that you have a solid strategy, that's just what I love the most. It gives you an opportunity to go out and put a couple different strategies in play. So as we look on board Stiggy, who is currently under some pressure from Mr. Racing, that gap is starting to widen just ever so slightly as Stiggy gets a very nice exit there. Mr. Racing is going to go ahead and make the move. There's certainly contact. He chooses not to get in there and take the position. Keeping it interesting, but fair play as flawed say there to Mr. Racing.
Yeah, that looked like a little suspect. I didn't quite see it as it was happening. I just saw it as it was going on. That probably would have been something up for review, but I mean, he's putting it all out there. He's really given Stiggy some pressure. It looks like he's had to back out a little bit, but I'm sure he'll probably catch back up and just searching for a way to get by because he seems to have the pace.
That's exactly what I was going to say. He's certainly got the pace. He's got a couple sections there where he can take that little half, 6.6, 0.7 gap and close it down to just about nothing. Maybe he's just a little bit better with the brakes perhaps than Stiggy, to where he's able to hit him a little bit later, but maybe not stay on him quite as long.
Yeah, this track will really teach you some patience because it is a little difficult to pass. It's not a very wide track. It's a relatively slow track. And they're relatively low horsepower cars. So getting a pass done is difficult. And then getting it done cleanly is even more difficult.
And then, add in just on top of that, the fact that the car is slippery. We've seen a lot of these guys, you get one tire in the grass or you get some dirty tires or, maybe you're just too much on the rumble strips. They can get a little bit unsettled and it can make it very difficult for the driver. So you look on board with number 5, who's not very far off the lead in VHG, and he is trying to close down the gap there between him and Metal. Looks like T-Case has lost some ground, I would imagine, with this Joker lap through there.
Yeah, I'd lost track of the people doing the Joker laps. These battles up here, I mean, we got a 3-car battle for, second place. I haven't been able to watch the map quite as closely to see as people get their Joker laps done, so I know we've missed a few. It wouldn't surprise me to learn that T-Case has already done that. Oh,
yeah, that sounds right. I remember him going early. And there we go. We have Stiggy, who's going to get his Joker lap out of the way on number 8, and also keep an eye out as T-Case goes right on cue. You're going to see some vehicles going into the pits, so that Mazda only getting about 8 laps. That does not seem to be what he was hoping for out of that. Getting in a little bit early, he's going to have a lot of work to do to close this race out with 12 laps to go.
Did not notice what it was the fuel level down to when he went in. Was it super low?
I didn't catch it, but I want to say it was down in the 10s.
Okay.
I'm guessing to a certain point.
Yeah, so he may have to do a little bit of fuel saving or a little bit of lift and coast coming out of some of these corners in a little bit higher gear in order to extend it out a bit. There's certainly ways to do it, but it's not quite as fuel efficient as the other cars.
Yeah, I mean, on top of that, can you keep up with somebody like, Mr. Moment up there running 101s as we see a Joker lap?
Yep, Mr. Racing just got his out of the way, and now we see him slot back in. behind Stiggy, although he's got the inside line
He's
here.
got move. Yeah, that's a good look. He's going to be able to get by him, I believe. Stiggy's little wiggles.
We're going to watch that again. It looked like they maybe touched, but it looked like he still gave him room. Let's see how this played out.
So there's Stiggy by.
Well, Stiggy went really deep
Just
in the
by,
corner.
yeah. I think that's more of a racing incident than anything else.
Yeah.
You know, it looked like he was doing everything he could to give him room. And, you know, there's only so much you can do coming out of that corner with all that momentum as well. You don't necessarily want to be on somebody's outside there. So there we see Mr. Racing currently holding on to P3. And he's going to try and close the gap between him and P2 and Metal. Metal doing everything he can to make up the ground between him and our... our winner of our first two splits with Josh Moment.
Looks like TK's
good
just got
line.
his Joker lap out of the way.
Oh, did he? Okay, so he did not run it earlier. We were mistaken.
Looks like he is struggling with that RX-7, but doing what he can. Metal diving in, Mr. Racing diving in.
Yeah, we got a couple coming in for that 10th lap, so they're splitting it right down the middle.
And Sticky diving in. Again, this pit lane is pretty tight. I think I saw at least one driver go over the line. I'm pretty sure we're going to see some pit road penalties on the way out.
Yeah, you know, on a short track like this, that is just a huge penalty, you know, to go from, you know, maybe a lap that you'd run a 102. Obviously, they're going to take it on their out lap, but add 3 seconds to it. That's huge when you're trying to stay consistent.
I will say in my testing here, I don't know if it's these cars or if it's this track, but the BKG getting his Joker lap out of the way.
Okay.
But I don't know if it's these cars or if it's this track. But when you serve your penalty, you don't slow down as much as I've seen on other tracks. So like a 3-second penalty costs you about 3 seconds.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a 3-second penalty costs you 6 seconds like what you see at some of the other bigger tracks.
As we watch Fernando serve a 1.5, so that
he must have hit a wall somewhere.
Yeah, that feels like a track limit penalty. There's Metal with his 3-second penalty. That's certainly a pit lane. Mr. Racing has gotten himself one as well.
But Stiggy did not. So here, we'll see
No problem.
just what these penalties, just how much ground, because Stiggy is 3 seconds behind Mr.
Yeah,
Racing.
3 seconds. How about that?
See if he gets the pass done before the sweeping right here. It looks like he's going to be right on him. But yeah, now it's Stiggy's turn to see if he can get this pass done cleanly.
So to your point, it looks like that ended up being every bit of 2.9 seconds as we see Stiggy looking on the outside. He's going to try and see if he can get a momentum move and get to the inside there with Mr. Racing. Didn't quite work out. He's certainly trying to find room. You can see him peeking out left. He's peeking out right.
Yeah, we're just a little over halfway through. He still has some time to be patient with this. If he can set him up, you know, get him to think that you're going to go wide and then dive to the inside. As long as you can keep it on the apex, that's a fair move.
Yep, little different line than Mr. Racing took through that turn, but it looked like it was certainly able to help him close that gap just ever so slightly.
I have seen in some of the hairpins at this track that going deep and making it more of a V shape sometimes seems to be faster, at least for my driving style. I'm not sure if that is necessarily the fastest way around, but a lot of times I did find that taking a deeper entrance and having more speed on the exit seemed to work for me.
Yeah, and I think that's what you're seeing in the difference between Stiggy and Mr. Racing is we watch Stiggy just continue to hunt down Mr. Racing in front of him. He is trying to find any opportunity he can to wiggle his nose back up in front. Mr. Racing's done a very nice job maintaining his line. Not running terribly defensive here, but just hitting his apexes and, you know, trying to be fast is really what it looks like Mr. Racing is doing here. As you see, there's that turn we discussed. Stiggy able to get a really nice exit and pin back onto the rear end of Mr. Racing. So At the moment, Josh Moment is still currently our leader. He is about 18 seconds ahead of the two we're watching right now. You've got Metal and also Mr. Racing. Then you have Stiggy right behind him. A little bit back, and he's in the mix there. Yeah, VKG is in the mix of that. So if those two battle too much in 3 and 4, they'll give him an opportunity. There is Fernando in P6, and TK's currently in P7.
Yeah, I was gonna say these two definitely want to keep this racing as clean as they can. They don't want to battle too hard because if they start getting into it, VKG will be right up in there, and he could be in the catbird seat and run right by both of them. Although now it appears that Metal is starting to kind of fall back into the clutches of 3rd and 4th. It looks like we may have a battle for second place. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th are not all that far apart.
Yeah, and I mean, that can happen. I don't remember exactly when Metal made his pit stop, but, he's been out there kind of driving by himself, and he might have lulled himself to sleep a little bit, maybe lost a 10th here and lost a 10th there, and next thing you know, 3 and 4 are crawling right up your bumper, so you got to be careful. It looks like they're just about 1.5 seconds off his pace there, and moving quickly up behind.
It looks like VKG has caught up to Stiggy just a little bit. Mr. Racing starting to pull a bit of a gap on Stiggy. So a bit of rubber banding going on, but still anything could happen. Any one of these guys makes a mistake and off they go. Oh, and I think we just had Metal ran his Joker lap.
It must have been Metal. Okay.
Yep, so now he had to drop back into 4th, but he's still in this fight.
And as we saw, he certainly got the pace to pretty much stick with his position and or gain on the folks that are right around him. So very close race we're seeing here between our top 5, top 6. Really, TK's isn't terribly far out of it, but I think the car difference is what's making the difference here in his situation. So there we are on board with Metal in P4, and with a Stiggy in front and VKG right behind. Not a whole lot of room for any of the 2, 3, 4 guys to make any errors. Well, 2, 3, 4, 5 really, to make any type of errors, because that will certainly yield a position to the driver behind you.
Yeah, 3, 4, and 5 are all separated by, it looks like, less than a second here between each of the cars. So yeah, the slightest of mistakes at this track, this being a very momentum track, you can lose a whole second of time just by messing up a corner, which we saw Metal go really deep there, which allowed VKG to catch up quite a bit. Although VKG didn't get the best exit out of there, he could have capitalized on that situation. Might have gotten distracted by Metal's mistake.
And it is easy to kind of fall into sleep. Oh, and it looks like there may be a penalty up ahead with Mr. Racing. Is that a half second? That must be a track limit from some spot. He must have pushed just a little bit too hard. And that is going to make this quite interesting. Let's see if we can see it. Nope, looks like we're just a little bit
got to it too late.
behind the tank. Yeah. But that is certainly going to make this interesting here with only a few remaining laps in our 3rd split of the Joker Series.
Yeah, it's certainly going to bring Stiggy right up to him, which could also allow Metal to catch up if those two now start battling.
I would say Metal's going to, try and tuck in right behind Stiggy as he starts to move here. Let's see how it plays out. And here you go, Mr. Racing. He's going to move in, serve. So he left that outside open. Stiggy is going to get by. Metal is right onto the bumper, and that is going to also keep VKG now right behind Metal. Mr. Racing goes ahead and puts some pressure back to Stiggy. And we've only got a couple laps. Do you think he can get it done out there, Sal?
He almost did. He almost had the inside line going into the hairpin, but couldn't quite. Stiggy was able to shut the door just at the last moment. Stiggy's going to have to drive defensive for these last 3 laps to hold him off, I think.
And it almost looks like Mr. Racing had given up a position potentially to Metal there just from running a little bit wide, but He certainly had great speed on the exit, made it almost non-relevant, and he is all over Stiggy. So is he going to try and make a move here, tucking down the inside? No, I don't think he's going to be able to get by just yet.
He tried that dive to the inside, but Stiggy with the defensive line really pinched him in there. They kept it clean. They didn't touch. Great to see.
And they have gone door to door now, and Mr. Racing does have the inside line for this turn. So that should give him an opportunity to get past Stiggy.
Oh, just the slightest of touches, but
Still
so good and clean.
Slightly,
it looks like he's got the position. Oh, but they're still going to keep battling side by side.
They're still door to door, yes. Stiggy is going to tuck to the inside and try to go ahead and sneak by, but it didn't work out for him. So there you go. Wonderful pass by Mr. Racing. That was fantastic. Textbook.
Yeah, he set that up perfect, was able to get that inside line on the fast right-hander and just held it in there, and then was able to keep it pinned, or keep it down on the apex to that next hairpin and got it done. Very well done.
As we see Stiggy almost slide, drift that last turn there a little bit. He was a little hot coming in there, but able to keep himself right on the backside there of Mr. Racing. So
he's just trying to find that speed.
Yeah, and Josh has kind of checked out from these guys. So Josh, sounds like you're running a great race up there. We apologize. We have not seen a whole lot of you this time. The action is in 2, 3, 4, and 5. And VKG is out of the... Oh, there he is. I was going to say he was out of the frame for just a second, but he is not far from these top 2 drivers.
He's also
2
within
and 3.
a half second. These two got to be careful not to really get into each other.
And we are on our final laps.
Oh, VKG with the inside line.
For you.
Oh, isn't quite able to make the pass, but he is right there.
Stiggy knows he's under pressure, and he is doing everything he can to widen up that vehicle.
All right, we're going to go on with Josh as he gets around.
Oh,
doing some donuts at the end.
Good old time. Letting TK get back on his lap there. Congratulations on that. So here we go. 2 is currently Mr. Racing. It looks like he's going to be able to close it out from the second position with Stiggy.
Oh, Stiggy loses it.
Giving up the position for the showmanship. Well done, Stiggy. That was good looking, though, buddy.
I think he went off into the grass. I don't think he planned that. It looked like he may have lost it. Just getting through that final corner.
TK, how you
TK's
doing,
going
buddy?
to do some burnouts.
Oh, into the wall. Look at his tires. TK's tires.
Oh, wow.
God. I mean, those are trash. Yeah, get after it.
Oh, I did notice he's got the Joker on the door too. On top of the whatever that is, riding a rocket.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, what an exciting finish we had there.
Yeah, Stiggy
again,
was saying in chat he misjudged that, so that loss of position was not planned.
Wow, okay.
All right, Slow-Mo, how about you take us through the results of our final race of the night?
Yeah, happy to. Again, congratulations to Josh Moment on the 3rd win, the sweep for the evening. Kudos to you, sir. Well done. 2nd place, SRP, Mr. Racing. Very good race by, all these guys today. PHG VKG Racing is our 3rd finisher for tonight. We have Stiggy coming in 4th position, followed by Metal, Fernando B. T-Case was in P7. P8 was Vetter Dan. So, and it looked like he didn't finish. I don't know exactly what happened there besides we saw him kind of have the equipment failure. I thought I saw him kind of back in the mix, and then I think he'd had enough for tonight and went ahead and hung it up. So maybe an engine failure or something to that extent. But really great job by these guys. I mean,
man, we got to see an exciting finish there. Sal, I know that's when you design a race, that's kind of what you're looking for to get out of it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, getting some good
close racing, and seeing some guys battle and seeing some really good,
clean battles. I mean, we saw some dives, but I mean, some of this is just that the cars are looser, you know, and trying to keep them under control. You know, my key to the race number one is not as easy as it looks at this track. But watching some of these guys go door to door from turn to turn, I think this was probably the most exciting split of the night.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, coming down to the last lap, pressure on the car in front of you, 1, 2, 3, 4. Any of those guys had an opportunity to really mix up the way that the final grid ended. So kudos to those guys for putting on a great show here for us tonight.
Absolutely. All right, so who's going to be your driver of the race for this split?
You know, I knew you were going to ask me that question. I think I'm going to pick Mr. Racing for this one.
Okay.
I think Mr. Racing made it for Mr. Exciting. It was a fantastic race there. Well-executed plan, able to keep himself in it, putting pressure on Stiggy there and being able to get it done. So Mr. Racing is going to be my driver of the split.
Gotcha. Well, mine is going to be VKG. He had a big improvement over his split 2 result to this one, and he was consistent. He wasn't doing anything flashy, but he was just staying in the mix, and he was right there at the end to capitalize. Ended up in P3. I mean, that's exactly what racing is all about. You race to the end, you give it your all, and in doing so and keeping all 4 tires on the track, you got a podium. So VKG is my vote for driver of this race.
That's a solid choice. You got to give yourself an opportunity to be in the mix. Racing's like that. You need a little bit of luck and some things to be on your side. But for all that to happen, you have to be able to keep yourself in the mix. And that's exactly what VKG did on that last race. So, I have trouble disagreeing with you, although I still think Mr. Racing is my pick.
Sure. All right, well, I'll get the poll up. I think we'll take another quick break. And when we come back, we're going to reveal what next month's combo is going to be. So everybody just stick around for a few while we get this the driver of the race figured out, and then we'll be right back.
Pedal down, heartbeat rising, no retreat, no compromising. Every second sparks ignite, push it harder, cut the night. Closer now, the light is burning. Every turn, the tide is turning. Risk it all, I feel alive. This is the moment I arrive. I'll break the line, I'll cross the fire, ride the speed, I'm climbing higher. No holding back, the world is mine. One last lap, I'll break the line. I'll Manchester lead. Let the chaos bleed. Cut across the edge where madness fades. Phantom Joker, let me break the map. Wild card racer in a
All right, and we're back. So that was an exciting split 3, I will say. For me, that was certainly the most exciting one of the night.
Yeah.
You agree with that? All right.
100%.
All right, so let's close down the poll here. It looks like VKG is going to be our runaway leader or driver of the split.
Oh, is that right? Nice job.
With 67% of the vote. So congratulations to VKG for winning the popularity contest. And congratulations to Josh Moment getting the Triple Crown here in the Joker Series, taking all 3 races. He is quite the driver. I think he has proven that he's got the speed. So
yeah, there's no doubt there. The one thought that I had in my mind is I hope to see him in some of the other things that we'll be seeing coming up here soon. But one thing we were talking about during the break, and I thought that was such a great race. Unfortunate for TK's, I think had he have stayed in the car that he ran the prior race, I think it could have been a much different tale. And you could have had him up in the mix with 2, 3, 4, and 5. So. I thought that was great. It really was interesting. I was kind of surprised at how dominant we saw the Alpha B.
Yeah, I mean, in my practice, it was the fastest car. I was hoping to see a little bit more variety. The other two, over the course of a run and with some practice, were competitive. The RX-7 and the Alpine A10 or A110 had a competitive time with the 4C and could have certainly kept up with it. It would have been nice to see someone like Josh switch to another car and see if he could have still won. That would have been a fun thing to see. But yeah, I mean, we're going to have races like that where something ends up being the meta, either because of popularity or because it is actually faster. We'll see how that plays out with future events, which is a good way to dovetail into what's going to be the next event. So, drum roll, we'll go ahead and reveal what next month's round is going to be in October. We are going to do Monza, no chicane. Where the chicane is the Joker lap. We've got, this is kind of like Daytona. We're going to have 3 powerful cars here. The Aston Martin 177, the Ferrari F12 Berlinetta from 2012, and the Corvette C7 ZR1 from 2019.
Wow, what a mixture of vehicles, Tune. Come get you some.
Yeah, this was a fun one to test. This was honestly a hard one to test. I had picked out 8 different cars to test for this one, and to get some that ended up being competitive again, to narrow it down to this 3 was tough. There was one specific car I kind of designed this for that I wanted it to run, and I ended up having to throw it out because it ended up being too much better than these 3. I'm not going to spoil with what that car was.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, these 3, again, they drive a bit different. Some of them are easier to drive. Some of them are harder to drive. Some have more top speed. Some have better fuel economy. And I'll post the details on the website shortly after the stream ends. And that's going to have what the laps are going to be, what the fuel, the tires are going to be. It's going to be a fun one. It's going to be, like I said, like Daytona, speed-wise, but there's turns. The Joker lap is going to be more similar to what we saw at Daytona, where taking the chicane is really out of the way of the people that are driving all the way through. But on the exit, you've got that long sweeping right-hander that's the place where the Joker lap and non-Joker lap drivers will start to come together, and there could be a speed difference. So you're still going to have to look out for it. But yeah, I mean, again, a lot of momentum, a lot of speed, not a lot of corners being at the no chicane track, but I anticipate this is going to be a fun one.
Well, and I can tell you from personal experience, the Berlinetta and both the ZR1 When you take those guys and you jack them up with all the fun parts and you go in and you do the tuning on them, those two cars they have an exceptional top speed. The question is, how quick can you get there, right? So that may be a big difference for these guys. What an exciting race this is going to be. Obviously they're all going to be in the stock versions. Is that how you do it, or are they BP'd?
Correct.
I forget.
Nope,
Okay,
BOP will be on, so it will be stock version. One thing I will reveal is that we'll be running racing tires on this one. Racing mediums are required, but racing softs will also be allowed. So a little bit more strategy involved, and people need to figure out what they might want to do given the car.
Well, and which set of tires do you, if you're doing
a change, which set of tires do you run the Joker lap on?
Right. It's like, do you do just 2 stints on mediums? Do you think you could do a stint on a medium and a stint on softs?
Right.
Depending on how many laps there are, is it going to be a 2-stopper and you do it as mediums and 2 softs? I mean, that's the kind of stuff people are going to have to figure out. But added just another little spice in there where now there's a different tire that you can use. So each of these races will kind of throw in new tidbits to have to work out, and I anticipate this one will be a fun one to watch. So.
That is awesome.
I'm
excited to see how that one plays out.
Yep, me too. So with that being said, I think that's going to wrap it up for the night. Slow-mo, what are your final thoughts?
Awesome night of racing. Really appreciate all the guys that came out to run, to be on track. Well done by all the drivers. Great, clean racing we saw tonight. So kudos to all of you guys. Thank you, Sal. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a blast to be here for the second Joker series. It's awesome, just awesome. And my goodness, how good did C-Dub's daughter do on his setup there?
I could not stop laughing when I first saw him on camera with his the hat and the makeup. That was great. I love the commitment to the role. So I hope we see more of that. But no, thank you, Slow-Mo, for coming along and doing this. You're a spectacular commentator. Love having you here. Love interacting with you. I think we've all got some good chemistry with this, and it's been a lot of fun to do. So, and I concur. I thought all the races were great. The third one certainly was the banger of the 3. I'm trying to remember. Did I save the replay on the third one?
I'm
going to save it now. So if I had a duplicate, fine, I got a duplicate. But
all right, cross the fingers. You got it.
I wanted to make sure. I want to make sure to get the replay on that one for sure. So in order to get whatever some of the best moments are, particularly for the shorts that we'll make off of that. But with that being said, I think we'll wrap it up. Once again, thank you guys. Oh, let me go through the chat because I think we had a couple of things that I hadn't gotten a chance to shout out during the broadcast. Yeah, T-Case, who gifted one membership to Fernando. Thank you, T-Case, for that. Viking King Gaming also gifted a membership. Wicco ended up pulling that one in. Thank you, VKG, for that one. And I want to say I saw another. Yeah, Andrew Suh had donated $1.99. Thank you for the I think that was a super chat. Thank you very much for that. And we had a couple new subscribers. Thanks to everybody who subscribed to the channel, everybody who stopped by to watch. I think that's it, or at least that's as far back as my chat goes. So once again, just thank you, everybody. Shout out to all the drivers. Yes.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but before we go, don't you want to talk about some of the upcoming exciting things that we may get to see?
Absolutely. Thank you for reminding me. I did want to shout out that there are a number of other series going on besides the Joker series that we're either in partnership with or that we just want to promote. Definitely McNaughty and the NRL. Pre-qualifying for that starts, I believe, tomorrow. That's a 5-race series, probably one of the premier series that we see around here. Definitely tune in to, you can go to mcnaughty.gg/NRL to get more information about when the broadcasts are and all that stuff. Also, shout out to Papa's House of Game. They run the PHG World Series. You can go to papashouseofgame.com, go to the website to see what kind of events they have going on. Right now we are in the off season for the PHG World Series, but I believe we're going to be starting that back up again in January. It's either going to be January or February. We have to check in with Shaggy on that. Maybe we can get him in here for an interview one of these times, so we can get the skivvy there. We saw T-Case running today. He runs his T-Case Tuesdays, so definitely check into his channel. His YouTube channel is at T-Case101. Go check him out. C-Dubs, who is our other commentator, him and Jorge run Sunday Fun Day, so you can certainly look him up. In the credits at the end here, you'll see his YouTube channel. Go check him out. And then we also have Flux Flare, who has started up Flux Fridays as part of PHG as well. I'm not sure if he advertises that anywhere other than the Discord, so if you're on the PHG Discord, you can go in there and check out, see what's going on there, and how to participate in Flux Fridays as well.
Another good reason to get in the Discord if you're not already. So.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. You know, it wasn't all that long ago that all you really had were the dailies and the PHG World Series, and I will say McNaughty kind of kicked it off with the NRL and with the success it's had. You know, a lot of these other things have spawned off. Some of them are leagues like the PHG World Series. Others are just fun times, which, you know, for now that's what the Joker Series is. That's what TK's Tuesday is. That's what Sunday Fun Day and Flux Fridays all are. Just a good time to get together with your friends, with other people who want to drive competitively but clean. You know, if you want something different from the dailies, the dirty dailies, those are some good places to go. All right, so with that being said, I think we're going to sign off. Once again, thanks, Slow-Mo. Thank you, everybody else out there.
Thanks for having me.
Yep, absolutely. So everybody, peace out. We'll catch you later. Be kind to one another. We'll catch you on the flip side. Bye-bye.
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
To the core.